Very sad cat. All right, welcome, welcome. Howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. We did just start the live. Also, I figured out why the live stream dropped off, why the live stream died yesterday. It's because my VPN shut off. So if it happens again, stick around. Sleeping better? No. Unfortunately, no. One sec. How am I... The bloodbath debate? That shouldn't be live. Talking about Taco's thing? Taco's thing shouldn't be live. Yeah, it's just a recording. That's from like a month or two ago. Yeah, it's not live. All right, I have to go check on my cat. She's being very sad. My wife did also not sleep well, and so she is currently sleeping now, and so I want to make sure that I don't wake her up. So hopefully I don't. Virtuous, you bought a telescope at Dobsoni with 100mm aperture. That's so cool. That's super rad. One sec, again. All right, I'm back. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a good day. We are a little bit early, but that's okay. That is a-okay. Howdy, howdy. Make sure to like the live, share it, click the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. All of those things that people tell you to do to get more people in here. The more people that get in here, the faster we get conversations. And that's what you guys want, right? How is Flat Earth dead? Well, ever since the final experiment, the only Flat Earthers are kind of the bottom of the barrel. The whole movement basically imploded on itself. That's how it's dead. So did you hear back from the guy yesterday that didn't know what eternal meant? No, I never heard back from him. That's entirely false. The movement got stronger because of the lack of evidence from the final experiment. Really? So like the midnight sun was not compelling to you? Well, then it just doesn't seem like you're willing to accept evidence. If the earth was round, we would fall off. True. So true. If the earth was round, we would fall off. We would fall off the bottom because gravity points south. Didn't they find a flat Earth-like planet? No, they didn't. Flat Earth has to be real, otherwise I can't reach Earth. Where am I reading this? I'm live on YouTube and on TikTok, so if you're seeing me read messages that are not on YouTube... Oh, and also I'm also live on 2 YouTube channels. I'm live on the Dr. Blitz Debunks channel, and I'm live on the @BlitzPhD channel. You know, just to separate horizontal and vertical streams. People still think the Earth is flat. Unfortunately, it's generally the bottom of the barrel that's still thinks the Earth is flat, and their arguments have gotten worse. if the Earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off the edge. That's true. That's a good point. It's not flat, but it's a lot bigger than what we're told. Well, that's just as silly a claim. How has flat Earth taken such a mainstream hold of people? Well, you can blame the internet for that. Hey, we have a guest. Let's talk to our first guest of the day. MAGA. Oh, there they are. MAGA Trump, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. What do you think the shape of the Earth is?
I think it's not like egg-shaped.
You think it's not egg-shaped? Okay, what shape do you think it is?
Well, can I respond with the question? Do you think it's a perfect sphere, or what's your position first?
It is topologically spherical. Now, it's also bumpy, and it's a little bit wider around the equator than it is around the poles, and so on and so forth, but it does curve back on itself. It is roughly 4,000 miles in radius. So what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I don't want to just claim it's flat, but I don't think you can prove it's not.
You don't think that we can prove it's not flat?
Yes.
What kind of evidence would you need to see to consider that proof? Or is this like a proof-evidence dichotomy thing?
Well, are you making the truth claim that the Earth is not flat?
Yeah.
So isn't evidence on you to prove that, or?
Yeah, so I can just show you pictures, like photographs of the Earth.
How do we know it's not doctored and?
The same way we know that photographs of Australia aren't doctored.
Yeah, but when you're in space, curvature can affect the images and.
So let me show you the photo I'm talking about, and then we'll see. Well, and I'm just gonna make a prediction that you're gonna say it's fake. All right, let's pull it up. All right, here is the photo. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so is that the lens doing that?
I can make that on my computer, like that same image.
Could you make it on your computer in 1972?
So how is this picture taken? Is it satellite
with a camera by a person whose name we know. On the way to the moon.
On the way to the moon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we went to the moon anyways.
So are you telling me that you think it's fake?
Well, it could be real but doctored.
Doctored in what way?
Made into that shape and color graded and.
With what tools?
So you don't think editing tools existed back then?
Maybe editing by hand, but then the burden of proof would be on you to show that it indeed was edited. If you're now making the claim that it's fake, well, that's burdens on you now, right?
Okay, that's true, but I'm just saying it's not objectively 100%. So wait, you also claim that we went to the moon, like for sure, right?
Yeah, the evidence is overwhelming.
But why does it look so fake when he was like jumping on the moon and looks like a Hollywood studio?
It looking fake is not an argument. Your incredulity is not an argument.
So why is this a popular theory then, if it's so?
Because people are dumb.
So most people are not smart then?
Most people don't believe the moon landing was fake. But also, yeah, I mean, just statistically speaking, half of the world's population is dumber than average.
Wait, so most of the world is like non-Caucasian, so you're claiming IQ by race now?
I'm not talking about race or IQ. I'm talking about what a median is.
But most of the world is not white, and you just claim that most of the world is not smart.
I claimed that 50% of the population, or strictly less than 50% of the population, is dumber than average. Yeah, and that's a statistical fact.
What about just America?
Yeah, 50% of America is dumber than the average intelligence of an American.
Okay. So you think Armstrong was the first man to touch the moon?
No, it was the other guy, Buzz Aldrin.
Oh, right. That's at least the claim they make.
Yep.
And you don't think NASA has been infiltrated by like the CIA and
I don't even know what it would mean to be I don't even know what it would mean to be infiltrated by the CIA. Oh, actually,
like,
hold on. People are correcting me. It was Neil Armstrong, not Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin was. I thought he was the first person to get out. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, it doesn't mean
But I don't even know what it would mean to say that NASA was infiltrated by the CIA. They're both government organizations.
Yeah, but the CIA works with like Mossad and other intelligence agencies to push a narrative.
Okay. What does that have to do with NASA?
So
What does it mean to like? Why would the CIA need to infiltrate NASA? They're both government organizations. They could work together.
Well,
Like there's no like secrecy that's necessary between the two of them.
Yeah, but if NASA acted in complete good faith, they wouldn't claim they landed on the moon. This was like during the Cold War.
Why wouldn't they if they did?
Because during the Cold War, they just pretended they filmed it in Arizona in a Hollywood
I'm sorry,
studio.
is that a truth claim?
It's a possibility claim.
Oh, okay. Can you demonstrate that it's a possibility?
Of course, it's a possibility. I mean,
Can you demonstrate that? Are you talking about physical possibility, metaphysical possibility, or logical possibility?
Logical, physical.
Okay, can you prove that it's a physical possibility?
Yes, I can even recreate the studio in my backyard if I had enough money.
I actually don't think that you can. And in fact, we can prove this using physics, that you cannot reproduce the conditions required in your backyard to replicate all of the footage that we have, for example.
But some of the footage, at least.
So if you cannot replicate all of the footage, that means that by definition, that footage could not have been replicated on Earth. So it must have been done on the moon. Which means that we must have gone to the moon. Which means that the Earth isn't flat, by the way.
Yeah, it would disprove it if.
Yep, and we can prove using physics that the footage that we have specifically from the 1972 Lunar Grand Prix cannot have been replicated on Earth.
Okay, if this is all true, why have we not been able to go back? Why isn't all the missions have failed after? And
what missions failed after?
I mean, I don't have the names in front of me.
I'll give you a hint. No missions failed after. There were no attempts to go to the moon after 1972.
Is that true?
Yes. I mean, maybe by other countries. The United States didn't.
Well, so we just went one time and then...
No, we went 6 times.
So we've touched the moon 6 times, like man on the moon?
12 individuals have walked on the moon. Yes, in 6 different missions.
And when was the last time?
1972.
And in 50 years, we just have no interest of going back.
Do you know why the Apollo program was canceled?
Let me guess, money?
It was lack of interest. So the first moon landing, the one in 1969, was the most watched event in human history. Literally billions of people watched it, if I remember correctly. I think that it had like a viewership of like 1.2 billion or something like this. I can pull up the number if you want, but an enormous amount of people watched it. By the time the 1972 moon landing was being broadcast, there were like news channels that weren't even like they were given the broadcast. They just didn't show it because nobody was watching anymore. It turns out when you do something for the first time, everybody cares. When you do something for the 6th time, nobody really cares anymore.
Yeah, but I'm sure in 50 years, we would benefit from some scientific advancements if we were to go.
Okay, what scientific advancements would we benefit from going to the moon?
Well, why did we go in the first place then?
to demonstrate superiority over the USSR.
Yeah, so you admit that it was just a Cold War race
Yeah, of course it was.
thing.
The space race was a Cold War thing. Yeah. And then the USSR collapsed, and there wasn't really any value in demonstrating superiority of our space exploration abilities. It's just not valuable anymore.
Oh, so you're claiming there's really no benefit to it other than that?
I mean, there might be some resources that we could get there, but as far as I know, it doesn't seem like the cost of extraction would be worth it given the cost that it takes to get there. Or sorry, the value of the extracted materials wouldn't be worth it compared to the cost that it takes to do the extraction. So yeah, turns out going to the moon, not that interesting, especially it's not that interesting to send people. Keep in mind, four or five countries have landed rovers on the moon in the last 5 years.
I mean,
like we're really good at sending stuff to the moon. It's just not really useful to send people there.
Well, robots are a different story. I mean, you can send a machine somewhere, but I mean, a human is a little different.
Oh, if you can send a machine to the moon, then the Earth isn't flat.
Why?
Well, because the moon would be spherical. Unless you think that the moon is spherical and the Earth is flat, like in this picture here.
Well, I'm just saying it's not
easy. If the
easy
moon exists, then gravity exists. If gravity exists, the Earth can't be flat.
So do you think we can like go to Mercury?
I don't think that we've landed anything on Mercury. I think we've done a flyby.
But is it possible? My question is.
Like with current tech?
Well,
or
sure.
just like in principle?
In principle.
I guess in principle it's possible. Like I don't think that we have the current tech to do so, or we might have the tech to do so, but it might just be so wildly expensive and so wildly useless that it's not really worth investing in right now.
So to you, there's no limits to what humans can do. We can just go to the sun even one day.
Again, I mean, there are tech issues, right? So we have an orbiter that is orbiting the sun very, very close. Keep in mind, the sun is very hot. So like there are issues with sending things to the sun because, you know, hot.
Right, but I see the moon rather like someone said like a nightlight. I mean, it does reflect the sun's light. You can admit that, right?
Of course, the moon reflects the sun's light.
Right. And you're saying that this moon rock, us sending things to this moon rock proves the Earth is not flat.
Well, yeah. So if the moon is an actual physical thing orbiting the Earth, that means gravity is real. And if gravity is real, then a flat Earth is gravitationally unstable and could never exist for more than a fraction of a second. And so you'd end up with a spherical Earth.
Wait, that's assuming everything we think we know about physics and gravity is true.
Well, the way that you would get to the moon would rely on our knowledge of physics being correct. And so if our knowledge of physics was incorrect, the failure or the attempts to get to the moon would have failed.
And okay, well, what do you think knowing or claiming that the Earth is not flat proves? Like, what's the end goal?
It proves my point that the Earth isn't flat.
But does it? Is there like a moral claim, or is this just like
It's not a moral claim here.
It seems like there's implications that are moral.
What implications are moral?
You know, like
I'm just saying that this conspiracy theory is stupid because it's obviously false. There's no moral claim here. Stop trying to make this about something that it's not.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're obviously anti-theist, I assume, so.
No. You can believe in God if you want.
No, I'm not saying God equals the flat Earth, by the way. I'm just.
You can believe in God if you want. I don't believe in God, but if you want to talk about whether God exists, obviously I will give you the arguments for why I think God doesn't exist. You'll give me the arguments for why you think God exists. And that's a conversation we can have. I'm not going to be mad at you for believing in God. I don't think that you're stupid for believing in God.
That's fair.
I'm just an atheist.
Okay. But are you agnostic or atheist, though?
I'm an atheist.
So you're making the truth claim that God does not exist.
I'm making a confidence claim. I think I have good reason to believe that God does not exist. Yeah, but that's not really on topic. I do that debate topic fairly frequently. So are you convinced that the Earth isn't flat?
I'm convinced that I need to do more research.
Okay. My first recommendation, and it's a recommendation, obviously you don't have to follow it, is pick up a intro physics textbook. In fact, I don't think that there's a single flat earther who's ever done that, for what it's worth.
Do we really need, like, science that's man curated, and like it's always changing science, and you're looking
in an intro physics textbook you can check yourself. You can do the experiments. It's not very sophisticated stuff. I
mean, I took AP physics in like high school even. I went through physics already.
Yeah. But... Okay. So then you can run all of the experiments to show that like gravity is real, to show that like orbits are identical to parabolic trajectories, or they're not identical, but they are closely related to parabolic trajectories that you learn about when you take AP physics. This is all easy stuff that you can do. You can run the experiments yourself.
I mean, you have high confidence in humans getting things right when science is always changing.
If your argument is that science is always changing, therefore gravity might not be real, is that the argument?
No.
Okay,
I mean, because gravity is real, but
if gravity is real, then the Earth isn't flat.
No, because the way we understand gravity, it's not the same way Newton understood gravity.
So if there exists a central force called gravity, then the Earth isn't flat.
But there's other forces we can't identify. That's the point.
What does that have to do with gravity and the Earth being flat around?
It's not the only force acting on Earth. So you're just...
It is the dominant force. It's the dominant force acting in our universe, yeah. And we can tell this by looking out at our universe, looking in the sky, looking on the planet.
So why aren't like more asteroids hitting Earth if the gravity pull is so like relevant and there's not other forces at play?
Because Jupiter has gravity too.
Right.
Jupiter's gravity is stronger than Earth's gravity.
But Jupiter's far away.
Yeah.
So what's the point of Jupiter?
Jupiter provides essentially a protective shield for us via its strong gravitation. It essentially whips all of the asteroids that would be floating around in the solar system to either orbit it or be in a kind of a synchronized orbit with it. This is what the asteroid belt is, and this is what the Trojan asteroids are.
No, I know, but those belts, I thought, it wasn't that relevant to our,
No,
I didn't know
it is. Really Jupiter's existence provides a enormous protective source of gravity for us. It protects us from a lot of the things flying around the solar system.
But what about more local asteroids? I don't mean like far, far away. I mean like closer to Earth.
There just aren't that many, and the ones that are small.
So, do you have a prompting question maybe, or is that?
Well, it almost seems like you're trolling. So I think we're actually going to call it there. But thanks for being here, MAGA Trump.
Okay, take care. I am.
AG, can you hear me?
Am I muted?
No, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just.
All right, great. Actually, before we start, let me just read some super chats, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
I think there's only the one. No, we have a journal from Math Josh for the 300 gems. I appreciate you, Math. And then from Gitstan Field with the $5, we have science as a method of understanding empirical data. That method isn't changing, but always updating to new information. It's not changing. Yeah, that's a fair point. Right, so AG, how's it going?
Not too bad, just going through the channels. Noticed this one, always wanted to join in this debate, and you seem pretty level-headed about it, so I wanted to see if there was a middle ground that could be found between the relationship of perspective in the study of flat Earth and the factualization of our experience if we were to travel outside our localized domain. and see that the Earth is in fact a globe. I want to see if I can pick your mind and see if I can get you to look at the difference in a growing perspective seeing flat Earth and experiencing flat Earth, and that truth being relatively true to the way they're experiencing reality, and someone who's gone and taken in the empirical data and can then experience the reality on the globe experience, where your world has to expand before you can actually take a universal force like gravity can be glimpsed by the mind. Younger minds are known to dream a lot deeper.
Hold
And
up,
you
AG.
can...
There's a weird audio issue. I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing you twice for some reason. I don't know why. Let me check something really quick. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, I guess it'll be fine. So, are you saying that like people may perceive it as flat because it kind of looks flat?
Yeah, without going too much into other fields of science, because whenever we're talking flat Earth versus globe Earth, I like to keep it very much applied sciences, very much the physical testing, things that you can test in person, sight, experience, all that. But there are still those other fields of science that get heavily tested. We test in the quantum field, we test in multiple theories of relativity.
Well, this is true.
So
look,
what's to say that the initializing perspective of consciousness doesn't start on a flat Earth plane?
I have no idea what that means. The question is about whether or not the Earth is actually a sphere or whether it's actually flat. I mean, do you agree that it has a shape?
I would agree that you're perceiving it as a shape, yes.
Well, that wasn't my question. Do you think that the Earth exists independent of human perception?
Can you define the location of which the independence is clarified? Because to have material objectation, there needs to be a witness upon the material.
Oh, okay. So if all of the humans suddenly disappeared, you would hold the view that there just is no material stuff anymore?
I wouldn't say that in totality. I would say possibly at the beginning and closure of whatever it is that runs the sequence of reality as we're able to observe it. It would be glimpsed by the amount of time period that the Earth would no longer be a sphere, and it would become an argument of relativity.
So when you say relativity, you don't mean Einstein's relativity. You mean like kind of the notion of things being relative?
A mixture of both.
Well, those are two different notions of the word, so I don't know what you mean to say that it's a mixture of both.
So a mixture of both there would is your framework operating under the Big Bang, or what is the
my framework is operating under the universe existing. It has like physical stuff has ontology. The Earth has ontology. It has ontology independent of humans being on it, independent of people looking at it. It just is a thing made of atoms. Those atoms exist. Do you hold a different view? Do you not think that? I mean, it sounds like you're some sort of simulationist. I try to hold as
few views as possible whenever it comes to experiencing truth, right? I try to experience the truth one-on-one with it, and if the truth tends to change, I try to keep to the primary constants that remain the same in the universe, such as most experience with gravity, to entertain most binary sequences of cause and effect. I guess the way I would probably ask that question a little bit more clean is if you were to run an experiment from an outside perspective of the universe, where are your parentheses placed? Where's the beginning and end?
I don't know what outside the universe means.
Okay, so that would just say everything is within your parentheses, right? Everything.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to make sure that when you're right,
define the universe to be all of the things that exist.
Okay, yeah, no, that's so for me, I like to think of things from the outer edges of the box into, people use that metaphor, thinking outside the box. I like to, with science, I want to stay in the box. I want to really comprehend the argument from all sides and not stop at just the argument, but get the facts that are outside of our arguments as well.
So AG, do you understand what the typical flat Earth position is?
I've interacted with so many mixed views on it. I try not to lean on any of theirs. So do you want to give me the primary?
Yeah, so the primary view is that the Earth has physical form, like it's like an object that exists. It would exist even if you got rid of all of the people, and that it's not globular. It is, in some sense planar. That is the view. Now, is that the view that you are suggesting has some truth value to it?
I would suggest that does have a large amount of truth value to it.
Okay, in what respect?
I would also sorry?
In what respect?
In respect to the human experience. That if we argue from just
the claim is independent of human experience, right? So saying that it has truth value with respect to human experience is making a sort of a category error.
So this is where we're probably going to cross hairs then. I'd argue the irrelevancy of the independent study.
Okay, but then you're doing a whole separate argument. You're making an argument for some kind of idealism or some sort of simulationism, as opposed to like some sort of physicalism or something like this.
So that's kind of why I want to debate with you, is because your argument feeds the same way to me. So that's why I'm seeing if there's a middle ground that we can meet.
Right, but that's not the topic.
Well, that's what I'm arguing what Earth is. And that's how I'm coming in with my counter argument to yours, saying that Earth is both 2D and 3-dimensional, that physically you're operating on the 3-dimensional side.
I mean, like, so the flat Earth position isn't that the Earth is 2-dimensional, right?
Based on the way you're supplicating their argument, yes, to make yours correct.
Well, I mean, I've spoken with, hundreds, perhaps thousands of flat Earthers. Flat Earthers think that the Earth is physical in as much as I do.
Now you're speaking to someone who thinks it's physical just as much as you do. I just have an opposing view that doesn't fall in line with the one that loses to your argument.
I don't think that you and I agree on what the word physical means here. Because if you're thinking that the shape of the Earth depends on human perception, then I don't see how that means that the Earth has a physical shape at all.
Okay, I can respect that. The using of the terminology there actually does cross it up. Let me try, instead of human perspective, from your standpoint with science, where does the Earth come from?
The Earth formed gravitationally from dust.
Okay, and gravity, where does it derive from?
It's a feature of the universe.
Which derived from where?
It may not have derived from anywhere. It may just be a fundamental feature of the universe. These are questions that we don't know the answer to.
Okay, so forces like fuel and forces like fire, they burn on that fuel, right? Well, apologies for the way I said that. That was actually horribly stated. You've got fuel burning, right? The force of gravity, when it dies out, what force was it feeding to? Like, was it feeding to motion?
I don't understand that question. Gravity doesn't die out.
Observed where? Have you observed that gravity doesn't die?
I don't even understand what you mean by die. Gravity is a force that's observable between masses. The strength of the force depends on the separation between the masses and the size of the masses.
Okay, so your argument would be that everything's going to stay in motion and will always be in motion.
I mean, motion is, kind of definitionally relative, but that has nothing to do with what I just said.
I think with every possible word we could add into science, right? So like, I'm not trying to debate you into disagreeing. I'm trying to find where the middle ground point is to bridge the gap between people who really do believe in the 2-dimensional or like a flat plane, right? I'm trying to find where is the movement in consciousness to where we can fill the gap between science, testable material, and showing the difference that it's not all social programming. It's not all some advertisement loop or people jumping on that, because that's most of the bandwagon for the people who you're supplementing their argument, right? The half of it saying most flat earthers believe X, Y, Z, right? So
I'm just talking from the experience that I've had engaging with them.
Okay, so again, you're coming from experience to have the argument, right? I'm trying to look for what experience do we find from science's standpoint. I'll step on your side of the aisle and say Earth is completely a globe, everybody else is wrong. What do we need to do from this side of science to go back over to flat earthers and actually prove it, right? Is it
generally, we need to improve the science education, starting at probably the elementary school level.
Okay, so from education standpoint. So that's the middle ground. That's all I was looking for with debating with you, was seeing where you stood as the middle ground for solving the issue of the two sides. Not so much as debating final points, but I did want to throw one flat earth perspective out there that isn't so locked into the rigid framework, so you don't think all of them are coming from bad science.
If the flat earth perspective you're coming from is like an idealist or a simulationist perspective, that like Earth isn't physical in the way that most people understand the word, that's like a whole separate issue. It's not the subject of this conversation.
Understood. Well, thank you for your time.
Take care, AG. He was trying so hard to have a debate about like idealism or something like this, and like I just don't care. All right, let's read some super chats and we'll bring up another guest. Sir James sends $2 to say Time Cube is the true shape, you plebes. True. Also, we shouldn't make fun of Time Cube guy anymore. He was known to have mental illness. It's very sad. Flash sends $10. Love me some spicy Blitz in the morning. Well, I appreciate that. Story Room Chronicles says, with $2, thank you. It's actually a cube. And Jack Fetter sends $5 to say, to be specific, I don't want to commit to any debunkable belief while at the same time denying everything you say. Think of it as the word of your yeah, that's fair. Fair point. All right, let's bring on another guest. This time from YouTube, or sorry, from TikTok. Turbo Smokes, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you doing?
It's going all right. Turbo Smokes, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's a sphere. And I can prove that in like 10 seconds.
But then why'd you come up?
Because I just wanted to say that nobody generally ever talks about the North and South Star.
We talk about it all the time. Turbo Smokes, it does say opposition only. Please respect the live.
Yo.
Jotaro, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. What shape do you think the Earth is, Jotaro?
It's definitely flat.
All right. Why do you think so?
Because my goat Hitler believed in it, so I got to.
All right, Jotaro. The troll is real, I guess. Let's talk to Dirk. Oh, Dirk's gone. All right. I think Get Well doesn't actually want to talk about the topic, so if he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to. Oh. Get Well, what shape do you think the Earth is?
How are you?
Hey, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I'm not talking about that. We talked yesterday.
I see Nameless, which I think is one of Islamic Apex's alts. Nameless, why is Islamic Apex refusing to debate Ian on God? Why is he running so fast? While we love the banjo here, it is kind of loud. Jason, how's it going? Jason?
It's going good. Hello?
I'm glad it's going well. What shape do you think the Earth is, Jason?
It's round for sure.
Okay. Why'd you join?
I'm just curious why Americans believe that the world is flat.
If that's what you're here for, then you can listen. You don't have to join. Listening is with your ears, not with your mouth. Keith Keano, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing A-okay. What shape do you think the Earth is?
It's flat.
All right. And why so?
Well, we have a lot of reasons. Like you have everything you have learned, like we did also in school. So whatever you yeah,
like what?
Yeah, we did.
Did you learn the definition of the Christoffel symbols?
We learned a lot of things in school, in college, and universities, and that's what we are taught. So,
did you learn what the Aharna of Bohm effect is?
But that's not your knowledge. That's something you learned that you were taught.
Oh, but you said that we
from
learned
books,
the same things.
From scientists.
But you said that we learned the same things.
Right. When I say we, so, I'm talking in general. Those who go to school to study physics, to study celestial bodies and things, they're not coming up with their own knowledge. They're being taught.
Well, so to be clear, as far as I know, there are no flat earthers who've actually gone to university to study physics. I've never met one, and
right,
I imagine that they'd be very loud if they.
That's not teachable.
I would imagine that they'd be very loud if they existed. Second, just the goal, the process of getting a doctorate requires producing original research, requires producing original thought, contributing to the field in some way. by definition.
But that's not for all. That's those the
Oh,
pursuits.
well,
like
fortunately, you're talking to one who did that.
exactly.
So
But that
it's just
doesn't
not
that
true
doesn't
that
make you that
everything-
doesn't
so
make
it's
you
not
greater
true
than
that
other.
so it's not true that everything I know was
That
just
doesn't
taught
make
to
you
me.
greater than other.
I never said it did, but you made the claim that everything that I knew was taught to me. Whereas we agree that getting a doctorate involves creating new knowledge, developing new things that were not taught to you, but instead are brand new. And because I did that, it means that not everything that I know was taught to me.
Well, you came up with your own conclusion with your own conclusions then. Just like
I don't know
flat
what that question
Earth
means.
believers do the same. So you came up with your own conclusion
So I
after
did
studies.
independent research, which is, peer reviewed and published and all this lovely stuff, and generally adheres to mathematical and scientific principles. Flat earthers never do that. They don't do the peer review thing. They don't do they don't do really any review at all. They don't adhere to scientific or mathematical principles. They don't conduct experiments in any sort of scientifically rigorous way. So no, I mean, it's really not the same. So, but look, we're not here to do
I
the
know,
meta.
I know it's not the same. I have a quick question for you.
Why don't you present me with a piece of evidence that the Earth is flat?
Okay, I have a quick question. I believe it's flat and it's not moving. It's not spinning.
Sure, I know that's what you believe. I'm asking for the evidence.
Right. So can you explain to me how cameras out of space are showing the shape of the continents and countries?
Is that
And
a
I'm spinning,
question
the
or is that
spinning
evidence?
It's a question. On a
Okay,
spinning
so I
globe.
asked for evidence.
On a spinning globe, running
so
300
I
and
asked for
something.
evidence, not a question.
Yeah, but the spinning globe is spinning like 300 something miles per hour.
How many?
And you can.
So
and
that sounds awfully fast, Keith Keanu. How many revolutions do you think it'll make in a day?
No, I'm talking about like how the cameras are catching the shapes of the
So
continents.
Look, it's a really good question. So that sounds like it's spinning really fast. How many times, if it's spinning that fast, how many times must it be spinning in a single day?
No, I'm not. You are asking me a question. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking you a question. Because you
no,
said
but you have
so
not
fast.
answered my question yet.
I mean, I don't have to do anything. This is my live stream.
Oh, well,
but look, the reason I'm asking you a question is because it's instructive.
Yeah, but I
for
don't
the
have
way
to
I will answer your question.
I don't have to answer your question either.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could just leave if you wanted to.
Yeah, but catch that. How cameras are catching?
Yeah, because the Earth spins very
the
slowly.
shape of the continents.
Because the Earth spins very slowly, and a shutter speed of like a 60th or
There's
a 30th
no
of a
camera
second.
that can do that. You can do the practice with a marble.
Kiss Keanu.
You can do
I'm
the
answering
practice
your
with a
question.
marble.
Don't interrupt me. With a camera shutter speed of a 60th or a 30th of a second, and the fact that the Earth spins exactly once every day means that, yeah, a camera will be able to capture the continents, no problem. There will be insignificant blur. Go ahead and unmute now. Do you want to respond to the answer now?
No, that's okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, okay, you're going to put on your running shoes?
Yep, I will.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
All right, let's talk to the next guest. Let's talk to Alex. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Alex, what shape do you think the Earth is?
So I'm not saying that the Earth. I'm not convinced that it's only because I feel as if though it makes more sense, both from a theological and like physical standpoint, if that makes sense.
Sorry, and I don't know what's going on. I've had this issue lately with a bunch of callers where like the audio seems like it's doubled. Can you try just giving me some test numbers? Just say something.
Yeah.
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
It's still happening. What if I do? Can you still hear me? Testing? No. Okay, that didn't work. Oh boy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, but it's still doubling for some reason. I don't know why. this is happening, but I mean, it's fine. It's like you're audible. It's just people might not like it. It's fine. Okay, so you were saying that from a physical and theological perspective, it sounds like it's more reasonable.
Yeah, basically. And
You there?
can you still hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, like I'm saying, I'm not saying that I know, everything. I'm just saying I'm not convinced that the Earth is a globe.
Okay. What evidence have you examined?
I mean, just loads.
I don't know what's currently happening with the audio. The audio. Hold on. Let me do something really quick. Okay. Let's try this now. Can you hear me? Testing.
I can hear you. Yeah. Testing.
Oh, now there's so much. There's so much. This is so annoying. I don't understand why I'm hearing you twice. I'm sorry. This is a noise gate. Let's. Give me another test. Oh, now I'm hearing myself. Are you using a headphones or something like this?
No, I'm not. The only thing I was thinking is maybe because I went from YouTube to this like website OH guest that I was hearing the audio from YouTube.
Are you using speakers? Are you using Bluetooth?
No, I'm not.
Because I'm hearing myself in yours.
Should I use headphones?
Yeah, use headphones if you can or something.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get this fixed. Otherwise, we'll probably just have to. Oh.
Okay. You can come back to me while I'm getting the headphones.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, I don't understand why that happens, but it's been happening a lot with my guest room. Top Gunner, how's it going?
That's going good.
I'm glad to hear it. What shape do you think the Earth is, Top Gunner?
I think it's most likely flat.
All right, and tell me why.
Because I see everything I see is mostly flat. Buildings are built on flat land, so it doesn't make sense for it to be round or stuff would just slide off.
What direction would stuff slide?
Slide to the bottom. Like
which direction is the bottom?
South.
South is the bottom?
Yeah.
So you
never
think
eat sour worms.
What?
Never eat sour worms.
Do you think that things in the south, do you think that gravity says that south and down are the same direction?
Yeah, so that would assume that I believe in gravity, so that's
what
like a
so
false
why
assumption.
would you I mean, why would you think that?
I believe everything's just on a flat plane, so
wait,
it
hold
doesn't
on.
matter
So
whether you're south or north.
Look, so
you just drive.
we need to talk about how we're thinking about things, right? So if your view of what would actually happen if the Earth were a globe is predicated on not understanding how the globe works, then doesn't that mean that your criticism doesn't really work?
Okay. Let's say we have a basketball. And I place figurines on it and I try to build something on top of it.
Yeah.
More like if stuff get heavy, they'll most likely just slide off the side, right? And just fall to the ground. Is that correct?
Why would they fall to the ground?
They just do. I don't know. I didn't.
No, on a basketball, what makes things fall to the ground?
The friction.
Why do things fall, Top Gunner?
They just do. It happens. I'm not.
Things
I don't
just
make them
fall. So things fall down on Earth for reasons you don't understand. Is that what you're telling me?
So what I observe is that they fall.
And
like Isaac knew and he observed something fell. But I don't jump to conclusions like things like gravity, which is basically just magic. That's basically him just jumping to a conclusion because he got hit in the head. Maybe he got like a concussion or something.
Top
and he wasn't
Gunner,
thinking
don't you think that
straight.
you should put better effort into trolling?
No, I thought this was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, I'm
So
gonna
have to
block you
wait.
now.
No, don't block me. I watch your videos.
Well,
Just,
then you
just-
better
I won't troll
apologize.
anymore. I won't troll anymore.
Better
I won't troll
apologize.
anymore. But it was,
Give me. I need an apology.
I'm sorry for trolling. Don't block me. I don't want to use a second account.
All right, you're forgiven. Trolls get blocked unless you apologize. And the longer it goes on, the more you have to grovel. Them's the rules. I didn't make the rules. That's just how the rules are. All right, now we do have a few super chats to take a look at, and some jewel gifts. By the way, the jewel stuff is really finicky. Like, if you send jewels, I appreciate it, by the way, but if you send jewels, it'll like appear 100 times in my notification thing. So I'm only going to highlight a few of them. But Jacob, thank you for sending 650 and 250 jewels. I appreciate both of them. And then I see all of the spam of this being the case. And then I see, oh, wrong one. I see Mariah Myrick sending 600 jewels. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you for the latte. Thanks a latte. See what I did there? See what I did there? It was really bad. And then from Game Master Flash, Blitz, you deserve a better quality of troll. At least put some effort in. Thanks for the content. Look, I appreciate it, Game Master, for the $10. I appreciate it a lot. All right, let's bring up a next guest. Oh, by the way, if you want access to my Flat Earth debate notes, plus my theism debate notes, plus my Young Earth creationism debate notes, plus my MAGA debate notes, consider becoming a member on either YouTube account or a patron on Patreon. You can get access to my debate notes. All right, let's bring up Danny Drip. Danny Drip, how's it going?
Better now that I'm talking to the legendary Dr. Blitz. Thanks for inviting me up.
Yeah, of course. What shape do you think the Earth is?
I believe the Earth is flat.
All right, and how long have you been a flat earther?
It's been like 6 years almost.
All right, cool. And why? Why do you think that the Earth is flat?
And thanks for asking. On the first page of the Bible, I'm sure you've gotten this argument a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the creation story, pretty much, you know, they talk about how in the first verse, God created the greater light, the sun, and then the next couple verses, the lesser light, the moon. And then in the 6th through 9th verse on the first page of the Bible, it talks about how God created a firmament that separated the waters above from the waters below.
Yep.
And I think that firmament is a physical barrier that prevents us from getting to outer space. And I believe we live on a flat Earth.
Do you share all of your cosmological beliefs with the ancient Hebrews?
Not everything. I don't think I share everything with anyone. Like, there's very similar flat earthers that don't believe the same thing as me. I don't think everyone believes everything.
I mean with the ancient Hebrews, not like other flat earthers.
Well, if the ancient Hebrews believed that there's a firmament or a vault or a rakia, which is translated from Hebrew, rakia.
I believe it's rakia, but sure.
Yeah, rakia. You're right. Yeah, I think that they saw similarly to me, but I don't know. I wasn't in their shoes, so I can't tell you what they saw.
Yeah,
and it's hard for me to, hard for me to even tell you what I saw 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You know, my
Sure,
remembrance.
no, that's understandable.
What
So, what do you think the sun and the moon are doing? Do you think that they, orbit, like not orbit, but do you think that they go in a circle over our heads throughout the day, or like what do you think's going on there?
It's tough, I know, like you just said, there's like some 24-hour phase that you were talking about to the prior guest or 2 guests ago, and I think I agree with that. But you see these videos of, in Alaska, the 24-hour sun, and of like kind of a figure 8 sun that never sets. And I know that you're a PhD, you probably have some sort of scientific, justification. But obviously you've debated thousands of flat earthers at this point, maybe tens of thousands.
Probably not tens of thousands.
Or thousands maybe, but I just challenge you, Dr. Blitz, to dive into the Word of God and see if that can help you see it from our perspective at all.
So, look, there's trouble here. So, from the flat Earth, or from the if you can just go look into what the ancient Hebrews actually believed, and I'm talking like ancient Hebrews, like from around 2,500 years ago. This is like hundreds of years before Jesus. So you can go look at what the ancient Hebrews believed, and it's fairly similar to what the like the ancient Babylonians believed, the ancient Assyrians believed, and so on. Let me show you a picture of like a diagram.
I'm with you.
Ancient Hebrew cosmology. There's a good diagram that is pretty instructive. Oh, it's really blurry. Still really blurry. Gotta be one that's like not blurry, right? Oh, this one's on Wikipedia. This one will be good. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's still a little blurry, but it'll be fine. Okay, so this is roughly a depiction of what the ancient Hebrews believed. Can you see it?
Yes, I have a screenshot of this in my phone.
Yeah, so in particular, there's the firmament, Rakia. There's, you know, the seas above. There's the heavens above. The moon and the stars and the sun are all in the firmament. But you see those gaps?
Yes.
In the firmament? So those are portals, windows. Do you know what they're there for?
If I'm not in, not to get too deep, but I know those could be related to the fountains of the deep, like when Jesus was born, or when a few miracles happened, the gates of heaven opened up, like the flood, which is different than raining. So yeah, I think those could be
so what are those portals for? Do you think that they're only there sometimes?
I think they could open and close.
So if you go look, I think it's in Isaiah. It's either in Isaiah or Ezekiel. What you'll find is that those portals are there for the sun, the moon, and the stars to go in and out of. So in the morning, the sun enters through the portals, crosses over the sky, and then exits out the portals on the other side.
I can see that.
And the reason they believed this is because they thought that at nighttime, it was nighttime for everybody at the same time, right? When the sun is outside of the firmament, it's nighttime. When it's inside the firmament, it's daytime. And so what that would mean is that once the sun leaves, once it exits the portal at night, well, that means that it's nighttime for everyone at the same time all over the world. But we know that's not true, right?
Yes, you're right.
Because like there's time zones. So like, of course it would make sense that people 2,500 years ago who didn't know about time zones, who had never ventured more than, you know, maybe a few dozen miles from their village, of course they would believe this. This is a reasonable thing to believe at the time. But it's so not reasonable to believe now.
I would challenge you by saying, could you pull up a real photo of Earth from outer space?
Yes, I could, but that's kind of irrelevant for the question that I'm asking.
That's fair. I would just rebuttal your question with asking you a question. I don't want to be like the guy 2 things ago. I'm not going to
look. The reason why I brought up this line of questioning at all is because if you're a biblical literalist, then you should hold the view that the ancient Hebrews did. But the ancient Hebrews held a view that's incompatible with the existence of time zones, right?
I stopped you there because if I was
your microphone's kind of cutting in and out.
Sorry, I was holding my mic.
You're good.
I have to disagree because for you saying if you're a flat earther, you have to believe this. That would mean like me
that's
saying.
Not what I said. I said if you are a biblical literalist,
yes,
then you need to believe what the ancient Hebrews believed.
I don't think that's true because that's like saying I know you're not, but I'm saying if you're a Republican, then you have to vote for Trump. You know you can't just jump to a conclusion like that.
A biblical literalist is somebody who reads the Bible literally, and in the Bible it mentions the portals. It mentions the portals that the sun goes in and out of at night and at day and in the morning.
I agree. I'm picking up everything you're putting down, but just because I'm a biblical literalist doesn't mean I have to take everything literal. I could pick and choose. Well, you know, it's all our own.
Hold on, no, then you're not a biblical literalist. That's
partly. You're right. I'm partly a biblical literalist. Then you're right. I'm not a purist.
Right. Okay.
I'm not a pure biblical literalist.
So if your perspective is that you don't have to believe everything in the Bible, then why would you believe the earth is flat?
Well, no, not everything literal, because Jesus spoke in parables. So I know that sometimes he speaks in parables, mustard seed. I know that sometimes things aren't meant to be taken literal.
Why can't the firmament be a parable? Why can't the entirety of Genesis 1 be a parable?
And you know what? You're hitting on something great. It very well could be. I just choose to interpret it not as a parable for me,
Why?
myself. And you know what? I think that when he talks about how God sits enthroned on the circle of earth, I think that God is physically on top of the earth, on top of the flat earth. I think when he talks about the four corners of earth and how he stretches the rakia like a tent over us, and we're like bugs. You know, there's a verse that kind of speaks like that. I think that that's literal. But you know, when he calls us to, I just feel like there is a physical presence of God over this earth. I wasn't always a literalist, but I think that it's pretty simple. You know, I think if you take the Bible literally, or in parts, in a lot of parts, it makes it easy. You know, like I said, he speaks in parables, so I don't think you could take that stuff literal. But I think that there's a good amount. Like Samson killed like 400 people, or sorry, KILLED, 400 dudes or an army with a jawbone of a donkey. People might take that more spiritually or metaphysically.
Oh no, you should definitely take that part literally.
I do. I take that literally.
That's something that could literally happen. But
you're pretty well versed in the Bible. Are you a believer yourself?
No, I'm not. But I actually know someone who, I actually don't know if they're still a young Earth creationist. I know somebody who is a biblical literalist, or a biblical literalist in the same sense that you are, and they argue against the flat Earth. So look, all I'm saying is that if your position was that the Bible is infallible and everything that it says in it is literally true unless it says that it's a parable, then you would be kind of forced to believe what the ancient Hebrews believed. But if you're choosing some other standard, if you're working with some other standard that you only take some things literally and you don't take other things literally, then how are you deciding which things to take literally and which things to take, you know, figuratively, or as if it's a parable or a metaphor or something like this?
Thanks for asking me that, and thanks for giving me this platform. I just have discernment. I think God has given me discernment. You know, I'm not like a PhD in science like you, but I'm pretty elevated in my field, pretty, you know, credentials tests. And I think that, you know, I've gotten past this, and he's put it on my heart to look into, you know, the ways that the devil deceives everybody. He calls the devil 27 names in the Bible. Once is Prince of Power. One of those names, Satan, is Prince of Power of the air. So God alludes to the devil having power over he calls him God of this earth. And I think that if I was Satan trying to deceive this whole world, I would use something like space being real into an ever-expanding universe, onto a Earth that's sitting on a 66.6 degree axis, rotating at 66,000 miles an hour. I know it's only one turn per day, according to you, but I just think that there's too many coincidences. I don't believe in space.
Can you repeat?
Yep.
So,
yep.
Well, actually, you don't have to repeat that. It's fine. Look.
All right. Yep.
So, you say that you have discernment, but like, what does that mean? Like, what's the actual process that you use to determine what's true and what's false in the Bible, or what's true and what's literally true and what's metaphorically true or figuratively true?
Well, in the Bible, you know, it's hard because I've read it, but I haven't read it, you know, front to end multiple times, and I'm discovering new things every day. Every week I'm having epiphanies and learning new stuff. But I think it's you know, I think there's just some things that, you know, God calls me to take true, and when he says lift your voice like a trumpet, like, I don't know, some people take that literally and they go out and they scream on a corner, and I'm like, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's what God wants us to do. But you know, some people take that literal, and then maybe they don't take the firmament being literal, you know? So like your friend, he could be a young Earth creationist that doesn't take the firmament literal, and I could be an old Earth creationist that takes the firmament literal. None of us are the same.
I think that both
none of us
are
will all
irrational.
see eye to eye, but I think we're all trending in the right direction. Fair?
Look,
that's fair.
My view is, like, we should hold beliefs that we can defend with, you know, evidence, right? And I think that that's pretty reasonable. That's how most people function, or at least most rational people function in everyday life, right? Like, for example, if somebody came, I don't know, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? Or a boyfriend? I'm not here to judge.
I have a girlfriend. Yep.
Okay, so
girlfriend.
if somebody that you didn't know came up to you and said, hey, your girlfriend's cheating on you, you probably wouldn't believe them unless they showed you a picture, unless they gave you evidence. And I think that we should use that kind of standard for all of our beliefs, right? And if the standard that you're using for your beliefs is merely, well, I think just God gave me discernment so I could I can just kind of intuit what's true. It just, I don't know. It doesn't pass muster in my view. It seems like an irrational way to come to conclusions. And I don't think that you would agree that that's a good way to come to conclusions in any other situation.
You know, I think sometimes you just got to let God decide, and you just got to, you know, what would he think is best? And I think a lot of people are, you know, there's paralysis by analysis. They overanalyze and they're paralyzed. They don't make a decision. They don't make a move. They say, I don't want to think about that. And I think by me and you even taking a stance, we're both two brave people. You know, at least we're taking a stance on something. A lot of people sit back, you know, all 800 of your viewers, they might not even know what they believe. So I think, and on top of that, the fact that you can quote scripture and that you know the Bible is amazing, man. God's already working on your heart. Even if you don't believe in Christ and God, the fact that you're up here talking about the Bible and Christ is huge. And I think he would be happy regardless of what you believe. So let's talk about those numbers that you brought up. So you said that the Earth spins how fast? Isn't it? I heard it's like 66,000 miles an hour.
I'm talking about how fast the Earth spins, not how fast the Earth orbits.
Orbits. I don't know how fast it spins.
So the Earth spins it spins once a day, right? That's the number, and you know, it kind of makes sense, right? Now the orbit it changes depending on the time of year because the orbit's not perfectly circular, but it's like 65,000 miles per hour or something like this. You know, something like 100,000 kilometers per hour. And what angle did you say the Earth is supposed to be tilted at?
It's supposed to be on a 66.6 degree tilt, right?
No, not really. If you're rounding properly, it should be 66.5, or you could say 66.54. But actually, we don't measure angles that way. We would say 23.5-ish. Because you measure the angle relative to the vertical, right? You don't measure angle relative to the other direction. So, but the reason I ask these questions is that it seems like these numbers are special to you.
Yes.
Why?
In Revelation, they talk about the number 666, which is the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that there's a lot of, you know, I'm not into that gematria or anything like that, but I believe that there are numbers in it that coincide with the mark of the beast that they try to use to describe the dimensions of the Earth, or so I've heard.
But keep in mind, the way that scientists measure things, for example, the speed at which the Earth orbits the sun, is not in miles per hour. So why would it be relevant that in miles per hour it's some special number? It's some number that, you know, that you view as important.
Well, I guess if you converted it to miles per hour and then it was the mark of the beast, I could see how that could be worrisome.
Why would that be worrisome, though? Most people don't use miles per hour. Like, you could make up whatever units you wanted to and make the number be whatever you wanted it to be.
Well, you could, but miles per hour are real units that we use, and if you convert how fast
we also use kilometers per hour, feet per second, meters per second.
I'm in America, right? And in the average, you know, the most likely use, most likely metric to measure speed would be miles per hour.
Right, but the people who came up with that number were not using miles. That didn't originate in America.
Got it. I don't know. I use miles per hour.
Well, no, I understand that you do, but like, if the claim is that like there was some deception that, like, you know, they're hiding it in plain sight with the 66,000 miles per hour. Like, first of all, 66,000 is not 666. Those are different numbers. But second, the actual measurement predates the use of Americans using miles per hour. So, like, what? Like, you know, we could go look the first person who came up with this measurement speed. It was probably Kepler, and they would have used some other unit system, right? And they weren't Americans. They didn't speak English. So if you go look at whatever they were using, were they like somehow predicting in the future that if somebody then used miles per hour 300 years later, that it will end up with being something like the number of the beast? Like, is that the claim that's being made here?
Dr. Blitz, you're hitting.
Oh, your mic just cut out.
I followed you. Thank you for giving me this platform. You're hitting. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you again.
This platform, you're completely right. That, you know, the devil got banished from heaven. He was the right man hand of Jesus. He came down to this earth with all his demons, and he used these people in science to essentially create these numbers to deceive everybody. It's all part of the deception. So my guess is 300 years ago, whoever made that formula, you know, was probably influenced by Satan to create a formula that would translate to the mark of the beast in order to further the deception. You know, but space on cartoons, a globe in the classroom.
Wouldn't it be more effective then to have the number be, you know, close to the number of the beast in the units that everybody else in the world uses? So like, there's only like 2 countries on Earth that use miles per hour. Everybody else uses kilometers per hour. So like, wouldn't it be more effective if the goal is to spread whatever the mark of the beast? Then like he would make it be 666,000 miles or kilometers per hour or something like this.
I see. Well, I see what you're saying, and to rebuttal that, you know, you look at a country like India, they're all Satanists. That you look at the Muslims, they're Satanists in my eyes. And you look at a country like America that has the most Christians. Satan is focusing his spectacles on this nation because he knows that this is where all the churches are. This is where the most Christians are. So of course, yeah, I mean, all nations will be deceived. You look in Revelation, all nations will be deceived, is what Revelation says. But I think he wants to deceive America the most because this is where the most Christians are. People like me,
I don't actually think
get
that's
on and
true.
talk to
I think South
PhDs
America
like you
has. I think
just
South
preach the
America
word of
has more
God.
Christians than America does.
We'll just say the continent of the Americas. How about that?
But South America
and
uses
I
kilometers
think
per
South
hour.
America is under attack just like the U.S.
South America uses kilometers per hour.
And maybe that's fair. And maybe there was just you know, maybe the Christians like me who are you know, maybe not afraid to speak out, that speak English for whatever reason, and maybe the devil could have, you know, he's the master of deception. He's the god of this earth, this world, this earth, and he could be, you know, deceiving them in other ways. I believe that.
But you have to understand that it is very weird, right? It is very weird that he's choosing to deceive people in like British imperial units. Oh, he left. Okay. All right. That was something. Let's read some super chats and then we'll move on to the next guest. Gitstan sends $5. Thank you so much. How does the caller feel about the fact that there is recorded evidence of NASA sending a probe on Mars and Apollo 1 and Apollo 2? Well, yeah. I mean, it's Satan's deception, right? Bacon and Bush sends $5. Thank you, Bacon and Bush. And we have another 250 joules from Mariah Myrick. $5 from Godwin. Should we be asking FLERFers how acceptably big globe Earth would have to be for its curvature to be undetectable to the naked eye while standing on the ground? Yeah, but that's a hard question for them to answer because math is hard, it turns out. Peter Hegwood sends $5. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate the super chat. If God is sitting on the earth, when we look up, are we looking into the butthole of God? That you are. We're like a toilet snake. All right, let's talk to Texas Man. Texas Man. Texas Man. Texas Man, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. What shape do you think the Earth is, Texas Man?
Okay, I believe we live in a firmament. And the only reason, I mean, yeah, I believe in the Bible. You know,
I'm sorry. I asked you what shape you think the Earth is.
Round, flat.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not like low.
Okay, and how long have you been a flat earther, would you say?
I wouldn't say flat Earth. I believe in a firmament. You know, for a few years, and the only reason why I believe we live like on a flat Earth is for the simple fact, you know, take out, you know, these going to the moon and all that stuff. Like that's taking the facts. A fact is, I could go outside any time of the day, look up in the sky, and see the moon. We all could agree with that. It's a fact.
Yeah, we can all see the moon, definitely.
Yes. So the only thing that's in my head is like, okay, if I'm in America, I go out, I look up, I see the moon during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Does like on the other side of the globe is China. So does China not have? Do they not see the moon when it's daytime over here?
Yes.
But how is that? Like I get it. Like, you know, we spin, the Earth spins. You know, the sun goes up from the east and sets in the west. So I get that 100%. Okay, you know, globe spins, it goes. But why doesn't the same thing happen with the moon? Why don't we see it?
It does. The moon rises and sets as well.
But why do we see it during the day is my question.
Because sometimes the moon rises during the day.
But then the same thing would happen with the sun, right?
No. So
because if the Earth
the sun is what determines whether it's day. The moon's orbit is not synced up with the sun. So the moon's just doing whatever it's doing, going around the Earth. Sometimes it'll rise and set on the night side. Sometimes it'll rise and set on the day side.
Yeah, I get the moon moves, but like, why do I see it during the day?
The moon is not connected to the sun. When you see the moon is unrelated to when you see the sun.
I mean, not really, because like I said, like if it's 5 o'clock during the day, 5 p.m., and I look up and I see the moon right there in the sky.
Yep.
How is it nighttime in China? Like, how does China not have a moon?
The moon isn't always out at nighttime.
The moon's not always out at nighttime?
Have you ever... So actually, I'll give you some homework. Next time you see the moon during the whole day, because that happens sometimes. Next time you see the moon during the whole day, this happens on new moons, by the way, or not new moons, but like when the moon is just a little baby sliver. Stay up late at night and see if you can find the moon.
Well, yeah. If you say a new moon, like I get the
not a new moon, just near a new moon. So like when the moon is just like a little crescent.
Because like if you have a globe, do you have a globe with you?
No, I don't own a globe. I don't need one. I live on one.
It's like, okay, if you have a globe, if you look at America, China's on the opposite side. So if I'm looking at the moon day and night, why?
Well, no. So the moon isn't always visible at night. So in fact, let's just look up.
I mean, no. I'm not talking about at night. I'm talking about during the day, like specifically when the sun
where
is
I live right now. So let's see. When was the moonrise? So moonrise today for me is at 11:51 p.m. And it'll set tomorrow at 1:38 p.m. Now, that's when it is today. So what you'll see is that the moon is out for basically half the night and basically half the morning. But if we fast forward to like, I don't know, November 19th, you can just check, like you can go look up when the moon rises and when the moon sets. On November 19th, where I am, the moon will rise at 6:38 in the morning and will set at 4:47 in the afternoon, which means that I won't see the moon at night. It'll just be nighttime and there will be no moon.
I don't get that. Like there's always a moon during nighttime.
No, there's not. So I challenge you. What part of the world are you in, Texas, man? I'm going to take a wild guess. Are you in Texas?
How'd you know?
You know, I'm just that kind of guy. Okay, so I'm gonna offer you a challenge. On November 21st, actually, I'm just gonna punch in Texas. So then, do you want to give me a particular area of Texas? You don't have to give me the city you're in, but just I'm gonna look up when the moon rise and moon set is for you.
Yeah, in San Antonio.
Okay, you're in San Antonio. Great. Okay. Okay, so San Antonio. If you go out and you look for the moon at, say, on November 21st, go look for the moon on November 21st. It'll just be a little sliver, but you will see a little sliver out during the day. It should rise at around 8:30 in the morning and set at around 6:30. Now, that means that it'll be slightly above the horizon as the sun is setting, because, you know, the sun goes down pretty early these days. But what you will find is that the moon you will see no moon on the night of the 21st.
Okay, so quick question. So you're telling me only on the 21st is when I can't see it. That's the only time.
Well, no. I mean, you will see. So this happens several times a month. It happens, in fact,
okay.
You know, 3 or 4 times a month.
Okay, it happens 3 or 4 times a month out of 31 days.
Yeah.
So
Well, so the reason why that happens is
doesn't-
because the moon is out for, you know, about 12 hours. And depending on what time of year it is, sometimes night is longer than 12 hours, right? When it's like when in the dead of winter, you know, maybe the sun sets at 5 p.m. and it rises at 8 a.m. That's 15 hours of nighttime. And so if the moon is out for 12 hours, then that means that it will be out for some of night. It just won't be out all night.
Yeah, like, no, I get it. Like, I get that the moon does move. I'm not saying the moon is stationary and just stays in one spot. It does move. You know, we get the waxing crescent, you know, full moon, depending on, you know, the earth blocking the sunlight. That's, you know, that's how we get the different faces of the moon. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at a globe, America's on one side of the globe and China's on the other side, but we see the moon.
You don't see the moon every night.
I'm not talking about it now. I'm talking about specifically during the at nighttime. I get it, the sun moves, but I'm talking specifically at nighttime. You said it happens 3 to 4 times a month.
Yeah, 3 to 4 times a month. You are 3 to 4 times a month. You can see 3 to 4 times a month. You will see the moon at 0 at night. Now, it is the case that, you know, for roughly half the month, you will see the moon out during the day.
Yeah, but
at least a little bit.
I'm not talking about during the night.
Yeah, that's why I said during the day.
Yeah, I'm only talking about during the day. I'm not worried about the night.
Okay. So is the confusion that if you see the moon during the day, then why can't China see it at night?
No. Like, I get
what's the confusion?
I'm saying, because if we're in a globe and the globe is, you know, the earth, the moon's doing its own thing.
Yep. Just orbiting around the earth.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm freaking busy right now. So if I see the moon during the day, then, you know, the moon should be on the opposite side of the earth during the day to where we can't see it, is my point.
If you see the moon during the day, then that means that it is on the same side of the earth as the side that you can see it on.
Which is North America.
Yeah, so if the moon is directly overhead, then that would mean that, and you're in San Antonio, that would mean that the moon is, you know, if you were to draw do a top-down view, like if you were looking down the North Pole, you would see that, you know, the moon is kind of like aligned with like that part of North America.
But I mean, if it's aligned with North America, then it wouldn't. Then, you know, Australia or China wouldn't see it because on the opposite.
You're
side
right;
of the
they
globe.
wouldn't see it.
Exactly. So,
and sometimes they don't see it.
Yeah. So then it's like, how is it round, or like how, you know, like?
Okay, let me show you a little simulation that I found. Maybe this will help. Like I don't know how else to explain this. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so here, we actually kind of want to rotate the Earth a little bit. Okay, let's. Yeah.
So
okay.
look,
So currently, this is. So it's on this simulation. It's currently daytime for Asia, and the moon is, you know, it'll be just barely visible. So like, you know, if we place the moon roughly here, you'll get a little sliver of the moon visible from Asia, right? You can even see what proportion of the moon is visible. However, if the Earth, so the moon moves fairly slowly. Sorry, one second.
Because of gravity. That's funny.
Sorry. Okay, so now the moon moves fairly slowly. So just imagine that it kind of just hangs out there in its orbit. It does move a little bit, like we can maybe move it to here. But now imagine that 12 hours have passed, and the Earth has spun halfway. Right? So if the Earth has spun, actually no, I'm sorry. This is just, we don't even need to do that. So in this case, the moon is barely visible. It'll be visible above the horizon for Asia. But if you go over here to this side of the Earth, like where America is, it won't be visible, even though it's nighttime on that side of the Earth, right?
Okay.
It's only when the moon is over here that it's visible at nighttime and not visible at daytime. Yeah. So this is when it's visible at nighttime. this is when it's visible at daytime. Now, what you'll notice is that when it's on the nighttime side of the Earth, the moon is bigger. So you're more likely to notice the moon at nighttime than you are to notice the moon during the day, because the moon during the day is going to be less visible. It's closer to a new moon. But this is not like a feature that like the moon has to be out at night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you keep on like. Okay, can you spin the globe to where America's like the daytime?
Unfortunately, I don't think I can spin this one.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
not
let's just
ideal.
say
Let me go
that-
see if I can find a better one.
No, that's fine. Let's just say that continent is America, you know? So, like I said, any time of the day, I could go out and see the moon. Any time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it should be like on the opposite side of the globe. It should be nighttime where the moon is out. And I get it, you know, you don't see the moon. It disappears.
Oh,
for,
actually,
you know,
I think we got it. Okay. I found a better simulation. Here we go. Obviously not to scale, but, okay. So currently this is a new moon. Oh, sorry. Currently this is a new moon, right?
Okay.
And I can even make this smaller so that you can see the phase. It'll even show you the phase. Now, if we advance by an hour, the moon doesn't move much. But it is moving a little bit. I'm advancing by an hour. And now, it's nighttime for that person who's standing, you know, in Ecuador, but they don't see the moon.
So you're telling me all night we don't see the moon?
Yeah, when the moon is just at a little baby sliver. So now...
That's crazy because like,
from
I
this
get it, like,
perspective, now you can see a little baby sliver of the moon. It's a waxing crescent, see? And China can't see it at all. And we can actually, let's just advance one day.
Okay, so what you're telling me is at nighttime we do not see the moon at all.
Sometimes. So like so currently, I just advanced it a day forward. So now you can see a little sliver of the moon during the day in America. And the people in, you know, India, they can't see the moon even though it's nighttime for them.
That is just crazy because like during the night I can see the moon. Like I get it. Like right when, you know, the sun's setting, you don't see it instantly, but it is up in the sky.
You can't see the moon every night.
That is so crazy. What? I literally like
imagine.
I'm
Okay, now we're gonna advance the
the
days. So now the moon is on the night side of the Earth.
That is.
And now, so it's daytime. Now you can't see it. And now, because the moon is on the night side of the Earth, now you can see it. But if we advance the day, if the moon goes all the way around, you know, as the moon does, then what you'll find is, let's say, here, you see just a little sliver of the moon, but you can't see it during your nighttime.
That is crazy because I literally go outside to walk my dogs every night, and I literally at the back of my door I see the moon every night.
I don't think that's true. And I would urge you to check around November 21st, say November 20th, November 21st, November 22nd, and so on. Go out at midnight, see if you can see the moon.
Okay, so you're saying on a specific day?
So you will not be able to see the moon for the entire night for a few days a month.
Okay, a few days. You said 3 days out of the month.
Like 3-ish days. Like again, depending on the time of year. If it's summer, if it's summer, night is much shorter, and so the amount of time that you don't see the moon is bigger because more of the time is day. But yeah, I mean, if you so around the new moon, so the new moon you can never see the moon at all, right? Not during the day, not during the night, but around the new moon, the day before, the day after, you see a little sliver of the moon during the day, you will not be able to see it at night at all.
That is crazy. Okay, 3 days out of the month. Okay, we got that, you know, sorted out for sure. You don't see the moon for
3 days out of the moon, you're not able to see it at all during the night. Now, for the rest of the month, you might see the moon for maybe like the first hour of the night, and then you won't see it for the rest of the night. Or you might see it in the hour before sunrise, but you won't see it for the night before.
That is so crazy because like I literally, this might be off topic or whatever, you know, people might look at me different, but I literally take shrooms at nighttime and I go outside and I look at the face in this, you know, in the moon. Like, you know,
well, it doesn't work every night.
Like I said, we agreed only 3 times out of the month. And
yeah.
So 28 days the
28
moon's
days
out
there
at
will
night.
be and it's roughly, of course, it depends on the time of year. During winter, because the nights are so long, you're likely to see the moon for at least some part of the night most days. During the summer, because the nights are short, you're less likely to see the moon, so the amount of days that you will not see the moon at all during the night will be bigger.
That's crazy because, like, I don't know. I don't get it because every time I go outside at night, I see the moon, regardless of the
Just
fact
check it. Just check it.
Yeah. No, like, I get what you're saying. You know, 3 days out of the month. Okay, cool. But the other 28 days, I definitely see the moon out at
Well, you don't see it
nighttime.
the whole night, right? You might see it for a few hours.
Yeah, but okay. So I do see it for a few hours on my side. So, like,
But you won't see it for a few hours every night of those 28 days. Some nights you'll see the full, like, especially for full moons you will see the entire night. But when it's like a sliver of the moon, like just like a quarter moon or something like this, you may only see it for an hour or two.
that is completely crazy, man. Because I know, I mean, I don't stay up like all night, but I could go out any time of the night and I see the moon up in the sky, which is crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I did my own, you know, test and stuff, and it just doesn't make sense because, like I said, the nighttime, whatever. My specific thoughts is like during the day, why do we see the moon? Because I get the moon should be doing the same thing that the sun
I just showed
does.
you a diagram. You want me to show you the diagram again?
No, I know that you showed me the diagram, but you're saying, you know, like, okay, you keep on
During
doing
the
that
day,
diagram.
why do we see the moon?
Okay, so then
This person is currently in daytime, right?
You said 3 months out of the month you do not see the moon in the sky during the night.
A few days, so in winter, which we're
Yeah,
quickly approaching, a few days out
but-
of the month you will not see the moon at all.
Yeah,
during the nighttime.
But with that diagram, you keep on going around. That means you will never see the moon with that diagram. You keep on spin. You can spin that for 365 times.
I don't know what you mean. How would you never see the moon?
During nighttime, on the opposite side.
So when the moon is in this position, if you are on the other side of these arrows, which is where nighttime is, you might see a little bit of the moon just as night is ending over here, and you might see a little bit of the moon. The moon might disappear a little bit before sunset over here. But on days like these, you will just not see the moon during the night.
But yeah, you're saying certain days, like 3 days out of the month. But it's but you keep on doing that, and it's consistently showing that you're never gonna see the moon over and over and over and over again. So that
you will never see the moon for the entire night, every night in a row. It never happens. It only happens on full moons.
But we just agree that you don't see the moon 3 times out of the month. You literally just said that. But you're saying
during
you'll
winter,
never see it. But you just said that it's only 3 times. But
during winter, yeah.
Yeah, but that diagram that you're doing right now, it just shows that you will never see it at night. All month.
Yeah, but so this is. Oh, I can do this. So when the moon's over here, that's the part of the month where you're not going to see it at night. Right? When the moon's over here, that's the part of the month where you will see it for the entire night. When the moon's over here, you'll see it for half the night and half the day. And when the moon's over here, you'll see it for half the night and half the day.
That's crazy. Because I try to take out, you know, what we're learned and taught in school and stuff, and you know, I go outside, I see the moon in the sky during the day, and at nighttime I see it as well.
Okay, so next time, how about this? Next time that you see the moon out during the day, I want you to wait 12 hours and see if you still see the moon.
Yeah, I get it. I get that the moon moves. I'm not saying it's stationary in the sky. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying, like, no matter the time of the day, I could go out and see the moon. I mean, I look at it during the night, but any time of the night that I go out, I see the moon. Sometimes, you know, I'll go outside and I'll look.
I don't think that's true. I think what's happening is that when you go out at night, if you can see the moon, then you will see the moon because it's bright and you can see it in the sky. But if there's no moon in the sky, you just don't notice that you're not seeing the moon.
No, I noticed because, like, I'm literally, like, fascinated. Like
if you noticed, then you would know that there are days where you don't see the moon at night.
Yeah, those are just 3 days. out of the month. We agreed on that.
That's for the whole night.
Sure.
What time are you usually going out and looking at the sky?
It depends. It could be. I mean, right now since it gets dark early, for me it gets dark about like 5-6 o'clock. So, I can't really tell you like a certain time because I'm not outside every day. Like
at a given time, there's only 14 days of the month or 15 days of the month or so will the moon be visible at any given time of the day. So if you checked every day for the next month, if you checked every day at 7 p.m. whether the moon was visible, you'd find that it's visible for half the days and it's not visible for the other half of the days at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m.
Yep.
All right, I'll test that. Yeah, because like I said, it's not like a certain time that I do it, but I just noticed that like anytime I go outside, like not on cloudy days. Like obviously, if you go outside and it's cloudy, you can't test that. You can't test it. But like on clear days, like during summertime, because winter, it's like super cloudy. But during summertime, like any given time that I go out, I see the moon, and I do the test and everything.
I don't think that you actually have. But go ahead and do it. I'd love to be proven wrong. But Texas Man, I'm going to let you go because we're way off topic, and I'm glad to teach you about moons, but that's not the topic of debate. So thank you so much for being here, Texas Man.
No, it is a topic of debate because it's proven that the world's not a globe. I mean, even the UN.
Okay, so how about this? You go out and make your moon observations, and then come back and tell me if you're still a flat earther. How about that?
Oh, okay. How would I do that? Because I would literally go out every day, take pictures, jot down the time.
Go make your observations, and then you'll come back and you'll say, "Oh yeah, you're right. The moon wasn't visible at 7 p.m. for half the days."
Okay, but the only thing is like I'm not talking about nights. I'm really talking about during the day.
If the moon, you could go out at 2 p.m. You could go out at 2 p.m. and you'll find that the moon will be. If you can see the moon at 2 p.m., then it'll be close to the horizon. And so you'll see the moon is visible at 2 p.m. for I don't know, it'll be a small crescent of a moon, but you'll see it for a good fraction, maybe 10 of the days of the month.
10 of the days of the month, but you said 14 days.
That's when you can see it at night. Or that's when you can see it at 7 p.m. Look, the reason why is because for some of the days of the month around the new moon, you just can't see the moon at all because it's the new moon, right? And so the moon is technically above the horizon for 14 or 15 days a month. However, some of those days the moon's not visible because it's a new moon.
Okay.
But Texas Man, I've assigned you some homework. Make sure to do it, and we'll talk again in a few weeks, okay? Thanks for being here, Texas Man. I can't believe I just spent, 27 minutes teaching a guy how the moon works? Like, this is not... Well, look, I signed up for this, I guess. Alvin Maker, thank you for the $2, friend. Charles sends $2. Thank you so much. What kind of cheese is the moon made of? Oh, it's Swiss. That's why it has those holes in it. From Miko Makopo with the 5 British pounds. Thank you, Miko. According to a bloke at the pub, God is British. That's why we don't get earthquakes. It makes perfect sense that he would use British miles. Ah, okay, that makes sense. You're right. That does make perfect sense. Miko Makopo sends 5 British pounds again. Moonless Night by B.A. James, a World War II escape epic. A moonless night was critical for the maximum darkness necessary for such dangerous operations. Yeah, that's a good point. This is a thing that definitely was a thing in World War II. Bacon and Bush sends $10. Thank you so much for the donation, bud. I admit I'm a dropout, but I kind of understood the basic idea of nuclear physics before I learned the moon takes 29 days to orbit the Earth. Having to teach yourself science is bullshit. Yeah, that is true. That's why we need to have better education programs. Tucker Bearden sends $5. Thank you, Tucker. Contrails prove the round Earth. From a distance, they look like they're going straight up due to curve, then they fly over your head. Okay, so those aren't... oh, yeah, those are contrails, not chemtrails. Yeah, that's... Well, I would agree, but they probably wouldn't. Tony sent 600 joules. Thank you so much, Tony. I think that's like, well, I don't know. I think it's like $6 or something. Boogie the Cat sent $2. Badger, mushroom. Yeah. And Icy Spin sent $2. Reminder sent fluids to the foundry. Yes. Okay, let's bring up another guest. Let's talk to Mabam.
Blitz.
Hey, Mabam. Have we spoken before?
No, we haven't, but I'm a big fan.
Oh, are you a flat earther?
No, I'm not a flat earther. I believe the Earth is round, and I believe that I'm a scientific believer.
Well, good, but it does say opposition only. So while I appreciate that you're a big fan, I do have to kick you off. So thank you for being here, Mabam, and I appreciate you watching. All right, let's bring up Danny. A different Danny this time. Oh, nope, they left. How about Ciencia Calva?
Oh my God, thank you.
Ciencia.
Can you hear me?
I can. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Look, I just want to take a moment to congratulate you.
Can you answer the question, please?
Yes. The question is, why do you think that a country for like US that have space agencies and have been landing on the moon?
Ciencia, please answer the question. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Rounded. I don't believe. I know it's rounded.
Then please respect the live. It does say opposition only. All right, let's talk to Jesus Warrior. Jesus Warrior, how's it going?
Great, great. How about you, man?
I'm doing all right. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Flat.
Okay, and how long would you say that you've been a flat earther?
Since I was 13 years old.
That's an awfully long time. And how old are you now?
37.
Yeah, that's an awfully long time. 24 years of flat earther. Wow. So what convinced you that the Earth is flat?
Well, I found it in the Bible, and I was reading it when I was a little kid.
And you haven't changed your views since you were 13?
Nope.
Are there a lot of views that you've held since you were 13 that you haven't changed?
Yes.
But not this one.
This one I never changed it. It was always, because when they brought the globe to me in the classroom, it wasn't adding up.
What doesn't add up about it?
Well, first of all, they say we spin, but I always see the sun coming from east, going to west.
Yeah, that's what you would see if the Earth was spinning.
But we're not spinning, we're non-rotating.
How do you know?
Bible.
Does the Bible say that we're not rotating?
There's over 200 scripture that talks about flat earth, stationary,
where does it
rotating.
Okay, so maybe that's true. Maybe it's true. But couldn't the Bible
maybe,
just be wrong?
It's true.
Couldn't the Bible just be wrong?
Nope.
Oh, why not?
Because the Bible is factual.
Well, it seems like it gets... If you're saying the Bible says the Earth is flat, then it seems like it's not factual.
Oh, there's only scientists made up the Big Bang Theory, right?
What does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Yeah, if they made up the Big Bang Theory and now they tell you live on a ball,
Do you think
make
that that's
sense?
do you think that that's the order that happened in?
Nope.
Which do you think came first, the globe, Earth, or the Big Bang?
None of them didn't came, bro.
I think that you're misunderstanding. I'm asking, which do you think became the modern scientific view first?
The modern scientific view. Okay.
Yeah, which part came first? Do you think that scientists thought the Earth was a globe first, or do you think that scientists thought the Big Bang happened first?
They thought the Big Bang happened first.
Okay, so you're getting the order wrong. The Big Bang has only been a thing for like 60 years or so. Scientists have thought that the Earth was a globe since science has existed.
No, that's a lie. Because if you're going back to the ancient texts and so, you understand it's flat.
Yeah, so what if I showed you a globe that exists from like the 1600s? Wouldn't that be interesting? Would it be interesting for me to show you a globe, like a photo of a globe from the 1600s? Look, I'm just asking you a question, because if you say that the Big Bang was proposed before the globe was, it just seems like that would require that there would be no globes that exist before, you know, that time period. But I can show you a photo of one.
Listen what you gotta do, my brother.
What if I showed you a photo of one? Here.
Bro, go back.
Can you see that?
The pyramid. What is that?
It's a globe. It's a picture of a globe that I took. It's in a museum.
Yeah. Listen, so tell me, where is the flat surface on the globe?
Well,
Which
look,
part is
wait, but you recognize that this is a globe, right? That's like a globe?
Bro, tell me which part on the
Wait, can you answer my question, please?
What is your question?
Do you recognize that this is a globe?
That's a ball made up by something to hold it.
Yeah, and it has countries painted on it, right?
Yeah, I could do that with any balls.
Right. So do we agree that this is a globe? That's what it's called. It's called a globe.
Bro, I don't refer to that. Your globe and my globe is two different things.
Wait, so the word globe refers to this kind of object. That's what the word is.
Listen.
So
let's break it down.
No. Jesus Warrior, you listen. Do you know where that, or how old that model globe is that I just showed you?
Bro,
how old do you think it is?
Circle?
How old do you think that model globe is?
I don't care how old it is.
Well, hold on. No. We're staying linear because you made the claim. I'm sorry.
Listen.
No. That's not how this is happening. We're staying linear. You made the claim that the Big Bang was around. You made the claim that the Big Bang was around before the globe Earth was. I'm showing you that that's not true. So this is a photograph that I took. I personally took it. It's in Austria. It is of a globe from 1693. Now, 1693 is long before the 1960s. The 1960s is when the Big Bang became popular. It's when it became mainstream. It's when it became accepted by scientists. So it just is the case that people thought the Earth was a globe at least hundreds of years before people thought that the Big Bang happened.
Okay, so answer this. How come the ancient Egypt... Hold up, my brother. The ancient Egypt never said they live on a globe. They said they live on a flat.
I don't care what the ancient Egypt said. They weren't scientists.
Yeah, but you just copied someone lie. Gave you a ball to imagine you're spinning and you're not.
I think that you're confused. I think that you're confused. Do you understand the point that I just made?
Bro, I'm making you feel bad right now. Listen, why?
Well, I mean, you're just making yourself look bad. You're not really making me feel bad. This is a.
You're looking bad.
Shout out to
you're not...
YouTube. Hi there.
You see? This is the thing. You keep interrupting.
I was interrupting you because I was addressing the people who will be watching this on YouTube later.
Yeah, they have to see how you're so illiterate with your nonsense. Listen, I live in South America, right? If I fly to Netherlands, it takes 12 hours. Why does I have to fly the 12-hour back?
Sorry, from which way to which way?
From South America to Netherlands, Europe.
Yeah.
In Europe. It takes 12
because you're traveling
flight.
over the same amount of land. You're traveling at the same speed relative to the surface in both directions.
No, you're wrong. One side is supposed to be shorter than the other.
Well, it is slightly shorter, but not that much.
Why are they the same distance?
Well, because the distance is the same.
Make it make sense.
Because the distance is the same.
Bro.
You're asking why it's the same. Wait, are you asking why it's the same distance from South America to the Netherlands that it is from the Netherlands to South America? Is that what you're asking? Because it's the same distance.
Bro, listen, it's not the same distance. You're not spinning, because if you're spinning, one side has to be shorter than the other.
Why?
That's why use your brain.
You're spinning with the Earth, so of course it's going to take roughly the same amount of time.
Bro, one side you have to
can I ask you something? Why is it that it takes the same amount of time to fly from Santiago to Sydney as it does to fly from New York to Tokyo?
You asking me that?
Yeah.
You should ask yourself why.
No. This is a good question. You should answer this question. Why does it take the same amount of time?
The Earth does not spin. That's why it's the same distance.
You should ask yourself this question. Please answer it. Why does it take the same amount of time? Here, I have a diagram up for you that it might help. Oops, wrong diagram. Here we go. Why does it take the same amount of time? So do you know where Santiago is? You live in South America, so you must, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Santiago is like somewhere around... Come on. I don't know why it's not showing the cursor. Show the cursor. Okay, there we go. Santiago is... I don't know why it's not showing the cursor. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so Santiago is in South America. Right?
What?
Capture cursor. It's just not showing my cursor for some... Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so Santiago is like over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sydney is like over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, New York is over here.
Why you don't use the Gleason map?
This is the Gleason map.
Nope.
Yeah, it is.
No.
If I type in Gleason map, this is
Look, the
exactly
red, the
what you'll
one is-
get. It's the
Yeah,
exact
that
same
one,
thing. It's
that
just
one
higher
is-
resolution.
Oh, no.
Okay, we could just
You
open up
was-
this one. We can do the exact same thing there. It'll just be low
Okay,
resolution.
so where is Sydney? Is Sydney very far away from the other?
So here we have Santiago over here, right?
Yeah.
And Sydney's over here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then New York is here, roughly.
Yeah.
And Tokyo is here, right?
Yeah.
So you're telling me that it takes the same amount of time to go from here to here, New York to Tokyo, as it does to go from Santiago to Sydney? That's very strange, isn't it? Why would it take the same amount of time if you're literally covering like 3 times the distance? Isn't that kind of weird?
You know what's weird?
Hey, can you
You're
answer the
not
question rather than deflecting?
You're not answering my question. Then why must I
I've
answer
answered
yours?
your question, now answer mine.
No, you didn't answer mine.
I've absolutely did.
asked
Now
you-
answer the question, scumbag.
No. Yeah, dumb shithead. Listen,
Good response. Answer the question.
you're failing to understand you don't live on a ball.
Answer the question, my guy. Please. I can actually even show you that the times are the same. We can go look up QF20, I think it's QF28. Is this the one from, yeah, this is the one from Santiago to Sydney. Oh, let me show you what I'm looking at. Santiago to Sydney, QF28, direct flight. Takes about 13 hours or so. Direct flight from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia. And now, if we go to American Airlines Flight 167, this is from JFK, that's New York, to Tokyo International Airport. That takes 13 hours and 15 minutes. So, yeah, they differ by about 5 minutes. In fact, it takes longer to go from New York to Tokyo by 5 minutes than it does to go from Santiago to Sydney. Now, why might that be? Why is it that they take basically the exact same amount of time when clearly one is 3 times further away than the other is?
Then maybe the map is wrong.
Oh, the flat Earth map is wrong? Oh, who would have thunk? And now,
Yeah,
let's go look at a projection of the globe map and see if we can make sense of these flights. Why they're different. So this is Santiago, or why they're the same. This is Santiago to Sydney. And this is and this is JFK to Tokyo. Now, can you understand why they might be basically the exact same amount of time?
Maybe they're in the same distance because it's showing the same distance there.
Yeah, they are the same distance. Now, how could it be that they're the same distance if they're in different parts of the north-south divide? Could it be that if we have a globe Earth, sorry, I have to hide my browser for a second. If we have a, because it'll show my name. If we have a globe Earth, could it be that distance makes sense? In fact, let's just check. Let's type in Santiago. Let's go to Santiago. And then we're going to draw a straight line on a globe from Santiago all the way over to Sydney, Australia. Here, it says that the distance is 11,397 kilometers. Now let's go do the same thing for JFK From New York. There's New York to Tokyo. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's like 10,800 kilometers. So it's like difference in length of like 300 kilometers. Oh, that makes sense on a globe. Because the north and the southern hemispheres are the same on a globe. Not the same on a flat earth. Do you make sense of that?
Your ball, you're imagining you're living on a ball, but you have a flat surface.
Do you have an answer to anything that I just said?
Yeah, I have an answer.
Okay, what's the answer? Why is it the same distance from Santiago to Sydney as it is from New York to Tokyo?
You asking me, the machine already show you the difference, right?
Yeah, on a globe. On a globe, the answer is because, or on a globe, that answer makes perfect sense. On a flat Earth, how does it make sense that those distances are the same?
Bro, listen. So
I'm listening. Can you answer the question? Because it sounds like you're dodging.
Dodging what?
The question.
You're getting cooked. You just imagine you live on a ball.
I'm getting cooked because I showed you how the flat Earth doesn't make sense? Okay. Cool, I guess.
So you like
I'm sure.
Talk. That's the thing. Are you atheist?
Now answer the question, my guy.
Oh, so you're atheist. I know this.
Don't pivot.
That.
Don't pivot to something that you feel more comfortable talking about. I know the flat Earth is really hard to defend in light of evidence, but answer the question.
What evidence do you have?
I just showed it to you. I just showed you two flights that are identical in the North and South Hemisphere, which don't make any sense on a flat Earth and make perfect sense on a globe Earth. That's the evidence.
Yeah, because listen.
You got an explanation, or are you just going to pivot?
Pivot what?
That's what I'm asking. Where's the explanation?
Bro, you're a lunatic. So you live on a ball, right? Where's the flat
you live on a ball too. You just refuse to admit it.
I don't.
Well, okay, that's true. You might live in La La Land.
Yo, do you know what is a circle?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with what a circle is. Do you know what a circle is?
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what a circle is. Do you know what a circle is?
So you're living on a circle, not a sphere, my brother.
No, I'm living on a sphere, not a circle.
You're living on a circle. Go look it up. It's a two-dimensional plane, brother.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. How does the two-dimensional circle? How does that account for the flights that I just showed you? Normal. That's a great answer. The flights are the same distance on a circular flat Earth because normal. Brilliant explanation.
Yeah, because you don't know how things set up.
I don't know how things are set up. Oh well, it does seem awfully coincidental that it perfectly works on a globe and doesn't make any sense on the circle. But you're right. The circle is what makes way more sense. Definitely.
Brother, just hold up and shut up a little bit. Listen.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the evidence. I'm waiting for the response to the evidence I provided you.
Explain the
or is
spinning.
Is that too complicated for you? Is the flight paths too complicated?
Right? Listen, my brother. You're spinning at 1,000 miles, right?
Yeah, sure. Now, is that an explanation for why the flight paths don't make any sense on the flat Earth?
So how come you have to
no,
fly
we're
the
pivoting.
same?
That seems like a dodge.
Yo, you see how you're crying like a little baby?
Oh, it seems like you're just running away from evidence that debunks your entire worldview.
Can't debunk nothing.
You're
just
getting cooked,
imagine
my guy. You're getting folded. Like an omelet, even.
What?
I would eat you for breakfast. Not literally, of course, because, I don't eat people.
You're eating trash for breakfast. I know you're eating trash for breakfast. Don't worry.
Did you just call yourself trash?
You.
Wait, did you just call yourself trash on accident? I mean, I wouldn't call you trash because you're a reasonable person who obviously isn't delusional. But
You're garbage.
I'm garbage. Got it.
Listen, let me ask you something. You're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour,
Yeah, well, I'm
right?
not. I'm not on the equator. How fast am I spinning? If I tell you that I'm in Arizona, how fast am I spinning? Can you do that math? I'll even give you a hint. My latitude is the latitude of where I live is 33.44 degrees north. So how fast am I spinning?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, do you know the formula to calculate the rate of rotation given the latitude of where you are?
I don't know. About,
you don't know?
Listen,
you don't know?
Listen, I don't know. Listen. You have to
Yeah,
listen.
we
I don't
grant
know about rotation. Because even NASA said we are a non-rotating Earth. So how you come up with
did
a
they?
spin?
Did they? Oh, tell me. What else did NASA say? Do we believe NASA now, or no?
You believe that you're spinning, and NASA is saying.
Oh, do they? Do they actually? Are you sure, or was that just in a 1984 model that somebody at NASA wrote? Fortunately, I actually know exactly what you're talking about, and I know it better than you do. Do you want me to pull it up? Because we can pull it up.
Nothing.
Oh, I do. You're right. I know nothing. You're so right. Let me pull up the thing that I know better than you do.
Hold up. Did you see
the
the video with the
We're pulling it up right now.
Did you see the video of the chopper that's hovering above the ground and they were waiting for the spins?
Do you think that a chopper hovering above the ground should have the Earth spin beneath it? Is that what you think?
Yes. Yes.
That's
And
not how the globe Earth works.
You see, this is the thing I'm talking about. Use your brain.
I am using my brain, are you? So,
bro, if a helicopter is hovering above
so
the
I pulled
ground
up that document that you said. So,
brother, you see you're running now.
No.
You're running.
We're gonna look it up. We're gonna look at it right now. Actually, here. This is the thing that you're referring to, right?
What
This
I'm
thing?
referring to.
Is this what you're referring to?
Yeah.
The NASA reference publication?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just a quick question. Do you believe that
Read it.
we will. Don't worry. Do you believe that everything in this? Do you believe that everything in this document is true?
Yes.
Okay. You sure? You're sure? You sure you want to commit to that?
Bro, they have the equipment to check it, and they said it.
Okay.
already.
So you're sure you want to commit to that?
Non-rotating.
What? Sorry. What's that?
Earth.
What's that? Gravity?
What's that? What is that?
Oh,
It's
this
not
is.
that you gotta look
I'm
up
sorry.
the
I'm sorry. This is in
non-rotating.
that document that you said you believe every word of. G naught is the acceleration due to gravity at sea level. Do we believe that?
Go to the non-rotating Earth part.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
read
I'm
that
sorry.
part.
So you don't want me to read the part that
No,
you
you
disagree
so-
with.
you're
You
running
only
like
agree
a
with
little
part of this
girl now,
document.
You're running like a little girl right
So
now, right?
have you read this document before?
Go to the non-rotating Earth, not gravity. I don't
I'm
want to
sorry.
hear
Have
about
you read
gravity.
this document before?
Go to the non-rotating
Have you read this
section, not
document before?
gravity.
This is
Bro,
really
you're
embarrassing for
getting
you.
cooked. This is embarrassing
Have you
for
read
you.
this document
You're not
before?
going to what I want you to read. Go
Have you
to
read
the
this document
non-rotating
before?
part.
Have you read this document before?
Wow. Oh, this is what you gotta do?
Have you read the document before?
You're pivoting.
Have you
This
read
is
the
thing
document
you do.
before? Oh,
I
that was a
already
mistake.
told
I shouldn't have
you.
assumed that you can read.
Listen, I gave you what you wanted to hear and what you go look for.
Yeah, so
Gravity.
have you read this document before? I asked you, and we can just play it back. By the way, we'll just play it back really quick.
Bro,
Just as a
go
quick
to the
point, we're gonna play it back. We're gonna run it back, right?
I'm crying. Look how I'm making you.
You sound like you're crying, actually. Like that sounds super plausible. So,
Bro, you're the one crying right now.
all right,
so
we just
get
gotta mute him
off
for a sec. I don't know how things are set up. Oh well.
Earth. So
Just to know that NASA wrote. Fortunately, I actually know exactly better than you. Think.
Yes. And they were waiting for the spins.
Do you think that a chopper hovering above
Very
the ground?
sad.
Oh,
It's very sad. I told a man
You're
to go
referring to,
look
right?
up the
Hold
the
on.
non-rotating section.
You're
when
not
I'm
allowed to talk yet.
gravity.
Is this You're not what allowed to talk yet?
Yeah.
The NASA reference publication. Okay. So just a quick
This is
question:
great.
Do you believe that we will? Don't worry. Do you believe that everything in this? Do you believe that everything in this document is true?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Everything in the document is true. We agree that everything in this document is true, right? That is what you just said. And yet, what's that? What's that? There's gravity at sea level? So you believe in gravity then, right? You believe in gravity? Oh, there's
You're
audio
muted,
issues.
bro. You're muted.
Oh no. Oh, okay. So just to be clear, sorry, no, that was on TikTok. YouTube could hear me just fine. So just to be clear, you just heard you saying that you agree with everything in this document, right?
Bro, I told you to go look up the non-rotating part, didn't I?
I'm sorry. Did you hear us say? Did you hear yourself say that you agree with every single thing in this
I
document?
was talking about the non-rotating
Well, I
Earth.
said
Why
everything.
you going to gravity?
I'm sorry, I said everything. So do you not agree with everything in this document?
So you get cooked, right? You know
So
you're
you
cooked,
don't
right?
agree
I'm
with
roasting
everything in
you.
this document is what you're telling me.
Bro, you're putting up. I don't know about gravity. Gravity doesn't exist, you
Oh,
dumbass.
but I thought you know what? I wasn't sure, but I thought
Read it.
referring to the
Yeah.
NASA reference publication. Okay, so just a quick question:
Read
Do you
it,
believe
read
that?
it, read it, read it,
We will.
read it.
We will. Don't worry. Do you believe that everything in this? Do you believe that everything in this document is
This
true?
guy is getting cooked so bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
You sure? You're
So-
sure?
you
So
sure you wanna
we do know that you believe that everything in the document is true, and then, just to be clear, you just said just 2 seconds ago that you don't believe in gravity. So which one is it, or are you affirming a contradiction? Do you believe in gravity,
My brother,
and do you
listen,
not believe in
listen, why
gravity?
don't
Because
you want
gravity
to
is in
go
this
to the
document.
non-rotating? My brother, why don't you want to go to the non-rotating?
It seems like you're pivoting away from the direct contradiction that you just affirmed.
So you're running like a little girl.
This is like an
All
enormous
the time
pivot.
I've
This
been
is
saying,
super embarrassing for you, isn't it?
bro, this is boring.
Do you think that you look
This
good
is
right now?
boring
Do you
of
think
you.
that affirming a
Go
contradiction
to
that
the
you both believe in gravity and that you
non-rotating
don't believe in
earth
gravity,
and
it
read
makes you look good here?
Bro, go
Because
to the
I can assure you it really doesn't.
read it. You're scared to go there because you know you're getting
So
cooked, right?
I will read that so long as you agree.
yeah, you're
So
getting
look,
cooked.
I'll make you a deal, Jesus Warrior.
Bro,
How
I
about
don't
that?
wanna hear
How about
you
that, Jesus
agree.
Warrior?
Go to the
I'm gonna make you a
non-rotating
deal.
section.
I will agree that this
Bro,
paper
you're
says
getting
gravity is
cooked.
real.
You're
Or
getting
if you
cooked.
agree that this paper says gravity is real, I will agree that this paper says that
Bro,
the Earth
this
is
guy's a
non-rotating. Can we
lunatic.
agree on that?
Going to gravity.
Can we agree on
Why
that?
are you going to gravity? Go to the
Right. So
non-rotating.
look, I'm making you a deal. I'm being very normal.
No,
So
don't make
if
me
you
a
agree
demon
that
cry
this
on gravity.
document says gravity
Go
is
to
real,
the node, bro, go to the non-rotation.
to be clear,
section.
I'm making you a deal. Look, we can be normal. We can be
This
adults
is the
here.
thing I'm telling you about.
We're gonna
You
be
see?
adults here, Jesus
They're
Warrior.
crying. They're
If you
crying.
can
This is
agree
terrible.
that gravity is
Go
in this
to the
document, then I can
non-rotating
agree that
section.
non-rotating
Let's
is
read
also
it.
in this document.
No, you see? Now you're
Oh,
pivoting.
wait, so you can't even accept a compromise?
Bro, you're a lunatic.
I'm
I
a
said you
lunatic.
to look. Yes.
Oh, so
'Cause I told
are you just
about the
upset that I showed you a
non-rotating
part of the document that you referenced that you just don't like and that you didn't know about?
Look how he's crying. This man is
If this looks like me
despicable.
crying, then bro, you must be like
You're
going
more than
down on that
crying,
bottle
right?
because you're crying like a
You're
baby.
running from the fact, bro. The fact I gave you, you run from that.
I
You go
pulled
to
up the
gravity.
document that you asked for.
No, that's not a document. I thought.
Oh,
I
no,
said
this is the
about
document. It's the same document, right?
non-rotating Earth.
This is the same
Go to the
document.
non.
You just don't like it
Go
because
to
I
the
went to a
non-
part of the document that you
Yeah,
disagree
you're
with.
running. You're running. Look. You ran past the non-rotating Earth.
So
This is despicable. Wow. People
I
are
just don't
so-
understand.
so
This is the document you wanted me to pull up, right?
Bro, go up, read up.
Wait a
Right
minute. So
below
look,
the-
Jesus Warrior, I will absolutely do
up
that.
and
Jesus
read
Warrior.
the section, my brother.
Jesus Warrior, I will absolutely do that. I just want you to admit that this
Bro,
document
you're not-
says
you're
gravity
not
is
doing
real.
nothing. You're just,
Can we agree on
Bro.
that? Can we
Bro,
agree, Jesus
listen,
Warrior?
Go up
Can we
to the non-rotating
Jesus Warrior.
Earth. I want
My
to
microphone
see
is
that.
louder
I
than
don't want
yours.
to see gravity.
My microphone is louder than yours, my guy. Can we agree that this document says gravity
Bro,
is
you can't
real?
agree to nothing. You
Okay,
go
if we
to
can't
a-
agree to nothing, then I'm afraid that we can't do it. I'm afraid that we can't do the compromise.
Yeah, 'cause you're scared. You're scared to get the
No,
thing shown, right?
it's just you're incapable of coming to a compromise and admiring admitting what's present in the document. Jesus Warrior, do you have any last words before I send you off to the wherever you
Set me up. We live
must
on a
go?
non-rotating Earth.
Okay, goodbye. Hi YouTube. That's definitely getting clipped. 100%. That's free content. Like that's nuts. Like I can't believe that was. Anyway, let's bring up the next guest. Oh, by the way, let me give some context for what this document is, just because, you know, some people were asking questions. So this document is as it says, it's a derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to come up with a mathematical way of describing how aircrafts basically move through the atmosphere. This was done by NASA, but this is a mathematical model that they're trying to construct. And so what he wanted me to read, what he really, really wanted me to read, was this very first sentence. That's all they've ever read in this paper. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. The derivation makes no assumptions of reference trajectory or vehicle symmetry. The linear system equations are derived and evaluated along a general trajectory and includes both, sorry, this is too small, and includes both aircraft dynamics and observation variables. So that's what he wanted me to read. Now, the reason I won't read that, or the reason I refuse to read that, is because he doesn't actually know what a linear aircraft model is, right? What he understands is that this is something that comes from NASA and that it says flat, non-rotating Earth. The reason why they do that is because it makes the math easier. In fact, you can go look at a more recent document. This is the Flight Navigator Handbook from 2011. And what you will find is that they talk about the curvature of the Earth all the time. In fact, they talk about it here. So there are documents that talk about the curvature of the Earth. And in fact, I think that there's a version of this from 2015, and I'll have to... there's a version of this from 2015 that, you know, with the advent of more advanced computers, we have more sophisticated aircraft models. And so we actually have better versions that do account for the curvature of the Earth. It's just the one from 1988 is the one that he relies on because they had to make simplifying assumptions. So anyway, that's what he was referring to. Let's bring on the next guest. Oh my God, it's Freddie himself. Freddie, how's your weird Dunning-Kruger face doing?
Oh, you already start off with the insults. You already know you can't beat my science. Good.
Oh, well, I'm insulting you because I know that you're a silly human being that's not worth taking seriously.
Oh, okay.
So,
just like you call yourself a doctor.
Well, I mean, it's not just me. Yeah. It's academia that calls me a doctor because, you know, I have a doctorate. Anyway, so Freddie, what's the evidence of the curvature of the Earth here?
Oh, it's my turn to ask you a question since you want to insult me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Tell me I'm so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell me if eye level is parallel with surface level.
No.
No, it's not. Why is it in your maths?
Why is it in my maths? Are you British now?
It's in your maths, stupid. What
are you British?
For planar serving.
Wait, is this British? Are you British?
Plane surveying. Tell me.
Are you British?
Tell me about plane surveying.
Wait, hold on, Freddie. Are you British?
Am I British?
Yeah.
Why do I sound British?
Well, you said maths.
Yeah, it's in your maths.
So you're British.
Wait, I'm sorry, you only use one math. Is that addition?
Yep, that's right. I only use addition.
I figured that's all you knew.
Yep.
I figured that's all.
Yeah. So the thing is that you can draw a horizontal tangent.
Be a different set. Would algebra
you can
be
draw
a
horizontal. Oh, you're crashing out because you used the word maths instead of math, and you didn't realize that would actually contradict. My mic's way louder than yours, Bugaboo.
Math, aren't they?
Way louder than yours.
A bunch of maths, right?
So, in America, we say math as the abbreviation for mathematics.
What you got for me, horse?
In the UK, we say maths for mathematics.
In your formula.
You done?
I'm wondering if you are. You're talking over me.
I already answered your question.
How'd you answer my question?
Oh, you didn't hear it because you were talking, I guess. That's fine.
No, you said that sea level wasn't parallel with eye level, which you are incorrect.
Not.
Well, you're incorrect.
So you can draw a tangent plane at any given point on the surface of the Earth.
What's a tangent plane?
It's a linear approximation. It's a linear approximation of the curvature of a shape.
Hold on a second. Would that be I need to clarify this.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a line that touches on?
No, it's a plane, not a line.
Oh, okay. So it's a plane. So we're now talking of a flat surface then. Good.
Yeah, that's what a tangent plane is. A linear approximation on a curved surface at a point.
That would be a flat surface, sir.
Yeah, a tangent plane is not the same as sea level.
Well, it's used for the surface level, and sea level is 0, which that plane resides.
No, the plane does not reside at sea level. The plane intersects with sea level at only one place.
We don't measure height from sea level. What do we use sea level for?
You do measure height from sea level. It's just sea level is not a plane. Sea level is curved.
What the fuck is wrong with you? If we
you seem like you're struggling to understand. Are you struggling to understand, Freddie?
I'm not struggling anything.
Do you know what a tangent plane is?
Double crossing your words.
Do you know what a tangent plane is, Freddie?
Yeah, tangent plane doesn't curve, does it?
No, it doesn't. Do you know what a tangent plane is, Freddie?
Exactly. So why
Do you know
did
what a tangent plane
disagree
is,
with
Freddie?
me when you claim I'm incorrect?
Well, I don't think that you know what a tangent plane is. Do you know what a tangent plane is, Freddie?
Oh, I just agreed that it wasn't curved, and you agreed
Yeah.
with me.
That's not the. So it's not like anything that's not curved is a tangent plane. Do you know what a tangent plane is, Freddie?
Can't I? Can I?
Do you know
curve
what a
plane?
tangent plane is,
Can I
Freddie?
curve a plane?
Freddie.
Is it
Freddie.
still the same dimension?
Freddie, do you know what a tangent plane is?
Yeah.
Okay, can you define it for me?
It's defined as the surface level, which we lay.
No, it's not defined as the surface level. That's not what a tangent plane is.
What are we laying?
Do you want me to go pull up the definition of a tangent plane for you? Would that help you?
I don't need the definition because nobody
Well, it
will
sounds like you
understand.
don't know what the word means.
Well, I
or the phrase, I
understand that
guess.
it's a flat plane that you agreed with me on.
It's a flat plane that intersects a
Yeah,
curved
that we
surface
use
at
for
one point.
surface level in plane geometry.
Yeah, it intersects a curved surface at one point.
Yeah, that would be perpendicular then.
No, it's tangential.
Oh, it
That's why it's called a
intersects.
tangent
It
plane.
intersects with the vertical.
No, it doesn't intersect with the vertical.
Yes,
it
it
intersects with the
Verticals and
curved surface at
horizontals
one
all
point.
go
Let me
together,
show
don't
you.
they?
Let me show
That's
you.
called a 90-degree. Do you understand?
I think that
what
you
a
need help
zenith
here.
is?
Don't worry. I got you. I got you, Freddie. I'm doing you a favor.
Oh, you got me.
I got
so tell
you.
me
I
about
got
a
you.
zenith measurement. Why don't
So,
you give me an
here.
azimuth as your
Here,
width?
let's draw you a tangent plane, okay? I got you.
A tangent plane. Okay. Draw me a tangent plane.
Oh, I'm just going to show you a diagram. I'm not actually going to draw it.
Oh,
So you
'cause
have to
can't
forgive me.
fucking draw it. Because you're a dope. You can't show your
So
own
this is an example of the
You make
tangent plane.
false-
So
you
see
make
that
false claims.
that pink thing? That would be a tangent point intersecting a hemisphere at a single point.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So why
Yeah.
do we use that? Why do we use that in plane surveying as the observer's location to the horizontal horizon?
I don't think that you do.
Oh no, then you don't.
I don't
know
think
the
that you
first
use a
thing about
tangent
your
plane.
math.
You use
Yeah, you don't know anything
the
about your
optical
math.
you use the optical
Oh, really?
horizontal,
So tell me
right?
how a sextant works.
A sextant measures angles from the horizon
Oh, yeah,
to
so that we use the
celestial
horizontal
bodies.
horizon from the
You
viewer's
use
eye.
the angles above the horizon, absolutely.
Oh yeah, and then we use surface level to measure down to.
I'm
with
sorry.
tip
What
angle
do
for
you
our
mean we
depression,
use
don't
surface
we?
level?
Yes, we do. What do you think the
Do we?
horizon line is? What is sea
Do
level?
we prove it?
Yeah, sea level is 0, sir.
Prove
That's how
it.
we lay an
Prove that we
angle.
use surface level
Oh,
for a
because
sextant.
We have a protractor that uses a 0 baseline.
Yeah, and where is
We
that
can
zero
get
baseline?
accurate
Prove that it's
measurements
surface
to
level.
angles. I love how you just want to talk over me because I'm so correct.
Oh
drink
no,
up,
I want to talk
horse face.
over you because
I
it's
can
good
lead a
content.
horse to water.
Is that you putting on your running shoes? Because I can hear it.
No, not
I can
at
hear
all.
you. I can
lead
hear
a
you
horse to
strapping up that
water. I can
Velcro.
see you drinking. You're getting nervous. You're
Oh
sweating.
no, I've just been rapid fire
look at your
cooking
horse face.
flat earthers
It's
for like the
written all
last
over
hour,
your
so of
face.
course it's going to take some
It's like
a
beating
toll on my
dead
throat.
horse in here.
Sorry, what did you just say?
It's like beating a dead horse in here.
That sounds interesting coming from a guy who claims
Yeah.
to be Freddie Mercury or Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, you don't even. That's your fan, Freddie Mercury. What do you do when you listen to him?
Wait, are you telling me that Freddie Mercury watches my stuff? That'd be amazing.
Oh, with your
Freddie Mercury's
with your
brilliant.
slip of the tongue.
Unfortunately,
With
he's
your
kind of
slip
dead,
the
but
tongue of Freddie Mercury, not even knowing
If
who
only.
the fuck I am.
If
that just
only.
makes it even better. It just shows your incompatibilities with anything dealing with reality.
I think that your rhetoric is kind of failing here. Freddie, I think that we're going to be
really?
done
You
here,
don't
but I
like my-
appreciate
you
the
don't like the
7-minute
way
clip
I
that you
talk.
gave me. Have a good
So
one.
Euclidean-
All right, let's talk to our next guest. Maybe we can actually talk to somebody who's reasonable and decent. One would hope anyway, right? JW, how's it going?
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Not a whole lot. I still don't know why your audio sounds like it's duplicated. This is definitely on my end. I don't think it's on your end. I just don't understand why it's happening. But you're, I think that you're all good. It's not your fault. I think it's my fault. So, yeah. Why don't you tell me what shape you think the Earth is?
I'm in opposition to a claim you made earlier, not to the whole idea of a flat Earth.
And what claim would that be?
You said that the Bible says that there is portals that the sun goes through.
Yeah.
That's not in the Bible, brother.
I guess it depends on which Bible you use.
You're right. You're right. It's in the Apocrypha, which is not known canon as of
Okay,
the 66.
so I I guess it depends on which which biblical tradition you adhere to. A lot of people consider Enoch to be scripture. If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. I have training in like spherical trigonometry, so I understand the Earth is clearly a sphere. It's very apparent to me. You can't travel across and do triangulation. I just want you to realize the claim that it's in the Bible is an incorrect claim.
Well, okay. I mean, so you're
there's
right.
a
So depending on who you ask, and so I've spoken with a lot of flat earthers who take Enoch literally. And so, you know, when talking to flat earthers, this is a shorthand that is useful. But you're right, a lot of people don't take Enoch seriously for
the vast
reasons.
majority of vast majority of Christianity. I would say like 99% do not take
that might be true. But JW, if that's all you want to talk about, I appreciate it. And thanks for being here, JW.
Hey, yeah, and if you ever want to have a conversation about Scripture or Bible, I'm super literate in that subject.
Cool.
I would love
I
to.
do a topic like once a week.
I see that, and I missed you last time, man. Yeah, I missed you last time. I would love to have it. I hope you have a good day, man.
Likewise. Take care. Yeah. So what is the case is that so just to set the record straight. So the Book of Enoch is where you can see the explicit mention of the portals that the sun goes in and out of. However, and so it may very well be the case that if your Bible does not include the Book of Enoch, then you would not find that in the Bible. But that doesn't invalidate, and in fact, if you go look up what like scholars of the ancient Near East will say, they will say that the Book of Enoch was an accurate representation of the way that the ancient Hebrews perceived the world to be. Now, the fact that we ended up taking the Book of Enoch out of the biblical canon because, you know, we didn't like it, that says nothing about what the ancient Hebrews believed, right? So that's the relevant part, right? All right, let's talk to Venley. The relevant part is that that's what the ancient Hebrews believed. Venley, how's it going?
Hello. I'm a flathead myself. A flat earther myself. I believe the world is flat.
Venley, just as a quick reminder, if you are trolling me, the longer you troll me, the more likely I am to ban you from my channel.
I'm sorry.
Okay, good. Good. Earth is not a planet. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, what shape do you think the Earth is?
It's definitely flat.
Okay, and give me just one moment, okay? I just want to write something down. So you say, I'm going to call you Earth. Is that okay?
Okay.
So if you think that the Earth is definitely flat, why so?
I came here to give my experiment what I've done to prove the Earth is flat.
Yeah, great. I'd love to hear it.
But before that, I want to ask some question about astronomy. Do you know astronomy?
Pretty well, yeah.
Okay. So how you will explain to a kid about retrograde motion?
Sorry.
How we can practically a kid.
What's the word? What kind of motion?
If you want to teach a person about retrograde motion of the planet.
Retrograde?
So, yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Retrograde, yeah. How that man will watch retrograde motion in the sky using his telescope.
How would they watch it? Well, it goes the other direction from the way the planets usually do. That's why it's called retrograde.
This is how we will teach.
Well, no, you asked how would you watch it in the sky, and so I told you what it would look like in the sky if you're observing retrograde motion. Now, if you want an explanation as to why retrograde motion happens, I can just show you a diagram.
No, I'm not asking about why. I'm not asking about why. I am asking you how to watch retrograde motion in the sky.
How to watch it?
Yes.
You could, if you're good at measuring the location of Venus or Mercury, you can just plot it. Like you just look at the sky. You just look at the sky and you look at where Mercury is. You look at where Venus is, if you can see Mercury, and then you'll see it going in the opposite direction that planets usually do.
What usually do planet do?
Yeah, usually planets go in one direction on the sky from day to day, and then on when you see planets in retrograde, they go in the other direction.
So what directions planets moves actually?
What direction does the Earth move? The Earth moves around the sun, and like if you give me an axis of rotation, I can tell you the orientation.
Take one planet, suppose Mars,
Mm-hmm.
and I have one telescope tonight. I want to see the retrograde motion. Can I watch it in one night?
No, so retrograde motion is not something that's always visible. It depends on the time of year. And it depends on where the other planets are.
I want to see during its retrograde motion.
You want to see what?
During it is on retrograde.
You want to see when it? I don't understand what you're asking me.
Suppose we knew that it is now in retrograde motion from astronomy. We come to know that the Mars is on retrograde. Suppose this November 20th. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't. And this is absolutely just a language barrier issue, but I did not understand what he was saying. And like, look, he speaks more languages than I do, so kudos to him. I just didn't know what he was saying. It was just hard. And I feel bad about that, but there's not much I can do. All right, let's bring up Jeremiah.
Hey.
Jeremiah, how's it going?
Pretty good. I just had two questions because I don't. I know that the Earth is a sphere, but I don't know the answer to like. Well, one, why do planets go into retrograde?
Let me show you a diagram.
Okay, bet.
Because there's like the diagram makes it super obvious when it happens. Like when you see it.
Okay.
And in fact, I can show you even better than a diagram. I can show you an animation.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, one sec. This is from Wikipedia, so you know.
That's fine.
Okay, so in this diagram we have Earth. Sorry, so we have Earth, and then we're looking at Mercury, right? And so what we're looking at is where Mercury appears in the sky and how it appears to move. So pay attention to the path of Mercury in Earth's sky on the left-hand side here.
Okay.
So we have Mercury. First, it seems like it's going one direction.
Right.
And then, as Mercury's orbit catches up and moves past Earth, it appears to go in the other direction.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's only a brief period of time where
it doesn't happen very often. And the reason this happens is because Mercury's orbit is faster than Earth's. So sometimes it'll pass Earth's orbit, and you'll end up with retrograde. And Venus will do the same thing.
And this happens like a few times a year?
Yeah, because Mercury's orbit is like a third the length of Earth's orbit. So it'll like catch up and overcome the Earth's orbit a few times a year.
Okay. And then I had another question about, okay, so I know that the Earth is like rotating around the sun, but how do we know that? Like, how do we know that that happens?
How do we know that the Earth is, I mean, in some sense, it's kind of just a perspective thing, right? Like, so on the one hand, you could imagine that like everything is rotating around the Earth, but it's just a cleaner picture if you think that because it's like a choice, right? It's a relative reference frame choice. Like, when you're on a train, you could say that everybody else is moving and you're stationary.
Right.
It's just not like the most simple explanation for why you see the things that you see. It would be very weird if like this train was stationary and then everything else was moving. Similarly, you could say that the Earth is stationary and everything is moving around it, but then these paths are very confusing. On the other hand, if you just think that the sun is at the center and everything goes around the sun, then all of these weird paths that we see in the sky make perfect sense. So I mean, and neither one is wrong per se. It's just a different choice of reference frame, and one of the reference frames is a lot cleaner than the other.
Right. It would be easier to explain one reference frame than the other.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also there was this once I see a lot of flat earthers talk about it, and I don't necessarily know what to say about it, but there was a period of time where you could see Milwaukee from like across like one of the Great Lakes on one
across
day.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah, and they said that this would not be physically possible if you can only see 3 miles past the horizon line, and that like refraction or temperature inversion wouldn't be able to cause that. But like, what do you like? How would you address that?
So, what they're talking about is something called the lights of Milwaukee. This is something that's pretty well documented. I can show you it. One sec. Here we go. Here's a news article about it. It happens occasionally.
Okay.
This is from, you can see it from Muskegon.
Yeah, Muskegon, that's where it was.
Right, and so what you're seeing is you can see the skyline of Milwaukee as a result of a type of illusion called a fata morgana, right?
Okay.
Now, they say that, so people will say, flat earthers will say that you can't see further than 3 miles. That's not true. That's how far away the horizon is. But if something is tall enough, it can stick out from behind the horizon, right? Imagine that you have like something that's very, very, imagine that you have a tall building behind a hill. You can still see the top of the building
Like the tip of the
because it's
tall building,
taller than the hill. It's similarly, you can think of the horizon as being like a hill, that if something is tall enough, then it can stick out from behind the horizon, you can still see it. But yeah, so this is an illusion, or it's a mirage, if you will. It's called a fata morgana. And that's the reason why you can only see it happen occasionally, because you need the atmospheric conditions to be just right.
Okay. What causes the illusion?
Oh, I mean, it's a mirage, right? So you have something called a temperature inversion in the atmosphere, which causes light to bend down in a way. Sorry, that causes light to. I need to make sure that I get this right. It causes light to bend in the other direction that it usually does. Usually, it bends down. With a temperature inversion, it can bend up, and so that can make it appear that you can see things. Now, that's not a fata morgana. That's a different kind of mirage. A fata morgana is when you have a strong temperature gradient, which causes light to bend down more strongly, and so it seems like things are taller. Think of like if something's bending down, then it looks like it's higher, because if it's bent down, then it's higher. So you can see further because the light is being bent essentially around the Earth, because it's being bent down through the atmosphere.
Oh, okay. So it's like, so that's why you're able to see it, because literally the light that's bouncing off the building is being it's curving around the horizon line, right?
And that's why it's so rare, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a very uncommon thing.
All right. Okay, that makes sense, because that's the only thing that I hear them like ever mention when it comes to like why the Earth is flat for the most part.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, Jeremiah. Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah. So fata morgana is just when things appear to kind of like float, and that's what you're seeing there. It's when things appear higher. There's another one where things appear inverted, and I don't remember what that one's called. But the names aren't really relevant. Anyway, let's read some super chats because we have a few and I've missed them. So we have 600 joules from Tony J sending a latte. Thank you, Tony. We have $2 from the Drunk Debunk Show. Chirp. I don't know what chirp means, but I appreciate it. Thank you for the $2. Nathan sends $5. Thank you so much, man. I have a friend that believes the flat earth because the Catholic Church says it's round. It's a bad reason to believe things, right? You shouldn't believe things just because other people say it's wrong. We have Josh Jackson sending $2. Thank you, man. They said they did they lol. Well, it sounds like you're either you're a hate watcher, because, well, maybe you're a hate watcher, maybe not. But either way, I appreciate the $2. Something sent 20 MAD. Now, I don't know what 20 MAD is. 20, oh, it's Moroccan Dirham. It's about $2. Thank you, something. I appreciate that. Now, Jim sent 5 British pounds. Thank you for the British pounds, Jim. Did you know, or quote, did you know, insert anything here, isn't going to be a worthwhile question to ask this flat earther? Yeah, people need to know things in order to answer that in a useful way, right? Germs Rossalino, thank you for the $6.66. That talking point drives me nuts. NASA eliminating unneeded variables for a simple model. See, flat earth, yeah. The thing is if they recognize that there's gravity in that same document, then the whole argument falls apart. That's the issue, right? Bubby, that's really funny given current news, by the way. But thank you for the $5. What rock do these people crawl out from? Lol, I don't know how you do it, but keep it up. Look, it's a public service, okay? they find me. Melvin sent $5. Thank you for your content. Well, thank you for your $5, Melvin. Miko sent 5 British pounds. Thanks, Miko. You might catch the sun popping in through a door in Psalm 19 from its room or chamber too, but I'd check with Justin first. That's a good point, actually. Let's look at Psalm 19, because I just don't know. Yeah, okay, I could see that reading, but it's a little bit finicky, and then we have to have a Bible debate. Let me show everybody what I'm talking about. So here's Psalm 19. In the heavens, God has pitched a tent for the sun. It's like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. So, like, this is tricky, because like circuit could be interpreted in several ways. Circuit could mean like a circle, or it could just mean like it goes out and then over. So yeah, that's a little bit tricky. It's hard to interpret these kinds of things. And we have one more super chat before we move on to our last guest, or maybe second to last guest. Gitstan with the $5. Thank you so much. Is there a possibility of you talking with Dan Linford? He has a background in physics and specializes in philosophy and marries the two in his field. I'd love to talk to Dan Linford. People generally don't respond to random people reaching out. I've reached out to a few people. I've reached out to like Joe Schmid, for example, and he never got back to me. I've reached out to a few people that I would like to have a conversation with, but if Dan Linford ever reached out to me, I would love to have a conversation with him. And Nathan sent $2. Thank you so much, Nathan. All right, let us move on to our next guest. I don't think that we have any guests. Okay, let's talk to... Oh, somebody in the... John Q. Public. If you come up right now, I will bring you up, John Q. Public. John. Send you an invite. See if he accepts the invite. Otherwise, he's just scared. John Q. Public. How's it going, my guy?
What's up, big dog?
Howdy, howdy. So, what shape do you think the Earth is, John?
Well, my argument is all repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
Oh, okay. Do they?
All repeatable demonstrations require
so when
a
you
rigid
say
container.
when you say a rigid container, does it have to be sealed on all sides?
For a pressure gradient, you have to have a rigid container.
And what, like, does the rigid container have to have barriers on all sides, or what's the deal?
In order to show a repeatable
Can you just answer my question? Does it have to have barriers on all sides?
You have to have a rigid container.
So does it have to be contained on all sides?
That leads you to conclude that, would it not?
That's why I'm asking for clarification. So you're saying that you have to have a completely sealed thing in order to have a pressure gradient?
Can you show me a repeatable demonstration that doesn't require one?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, are you familiar with sulfur hexafluoride?
Are you saying that the density of a gas being contained?
Well, to be clear, it's not contained on all sides.
So you're using an observation that a pressure gradient can form without a rigid container as proof that a pressure gradient can form without a rigid container?
No, so here's an example of a pressure gradient that exists. Right. Oh, this one, I think this one's, is this one actually, no, this one's not even sealed from the top. Look. So here.
Exactly.
So it's not sealed from the top, and there's a pressure gradient present.
Exactly. So
there's a pressure gradient without a sealed container.
Therefore,
you can have pressure without sealed containers.
That's an observation that you're making, that you can have a pressure gradient without a sealed container. However, you cannot repeat the demonstration. You can only present an observation.
What do you mean you can't repeat it? Just get some sulfur hexafluoride, put it into a plexiglass box, and do it again.
That's an observation, correct? 100%.
Yeah.
You're making
so
an observation.
You just
that we have
said that you can't repeat it.
Atmosphere.
No,
You're
no,
making
this
an
isn't our
observation.
atmosphere. It's sulfur hexafluoride.
Is it in an open room?
I guess you could. I don't know if their room is open.
Absolutely. So therefore, all repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
Wait a minute. So now you're begging the
presenting an
question.
observation.
John, you're begging the
as
question.
proof that one
Now
is
you're
not
assuming.
required.
Now you're assuming that the atmosphere is a closed container.
Can you show me a repeatable demonstration of one that doesn't require a rigid container? The answer
So
is
I
no.
just showed you one just now.
That's an observation, a claim that we don't
Yeah,
require
it's
a
a
rigid
demonstration.
container that you're presenting.
This is a
as
demonstration of
proof.
it, right? This is an
No,
example.
That's an observation.
What's
that
the
you're
difference between
presenting.
what's the difference between a demonstration and an example?
You made an observation and you've made a claim that
What's the what is the relationship between the demonstration and an example? What's the difference?
You gave an observation. You said
here's something that's not contained on all four sides or on all six sides.
Reside in an open pressurized system that doesn't require a rigid container. You presented an observation as proof of such.
I presented an observation of something not being in a closed container and having a pressure gradient.
However, every repeatable demonstration
I just showed you one. This is repeatable and demonstratable.
Requires
this is repeatable and demonstratable. This is a repeatable and demonstratable observation.
You're using the claim as evidence. You're presenting
no,
the claim
this is not a claim. This is just a thing that you can do. You can just check this yourself.
You claim we reside in a pressurized gradient that doesn't require a rigid container.
No, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this box here. The box here is not a pressurized. It's not a solid container with boundaries on all sides.
Open room, which there's a definite pressure gradient. Observe.
Okay, we're gonna have to go over your argument here explicitly because you seem like you're struggling.
That a rigid container is not required.
Okay,
That's exactly
so
what you're doing.
Let's break down your argument, okay?
Okay. You're observing a pressure gradient. There's a pressure gradient. We agree.
So I've presented
you're
this thing.
presenting that pressure gradient as proof
sorry, we're not done yet.
A rigid container is not
My
required.
guy, chill. Okay. We'll get there. I don't know why the browser is so narrow. What is happening? Sorry, I'm going to close out of this and then reopen another notepad.
Is this your counter argument?
We're gonna go over it. Don't worry. Hold on. What is happening? Okay,
so
sorry.
Is
my
this your
thing.
counter argument?
John, give me one. John, give me a sec.
I still
John, give me a
stand
sec,
on what I
okay?
said. All repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
Okay, I understand that that's what you're saying. I understand that that's what you're saying.
Demonstration
okay, we'll just have to work it out without a notepad. We'll just have to work it out without a notepad. John,
the claim of an observation.
So your claim, so you've made a claim that this is the case, right? That no repeatable demonstratable.
That is observer.
I'm
all
sorry.
Math and all of industry.
Wait a minute. How did you observe that? I'm sorry. How did you observe it? How did you observe? Actually, John, how did you observe? John, I'm asking you a question. Can you shut up for a sec so I can ask you a question? Okay. So how did you demonstrate that the thing I just showed you was in a pressurized container?
You're making the positive claim that a pressure gradient can form without a container.
No, I'm sorry. You were the one who came in and made the claim that you cannot have a pressurized container.
Let me answer your question without interruption. You're making the positive claim that a pressure gradient can form without a rigid container. However, in all
that was your claim. You just made the opposite claim. I didn't make any positive claim.
A rigid container is required. That's observed reality. You're denying
reality. I didn't make
reality.
any positive claim. You made a claim, and I'm showing you that the claim has counterexamples.
You're presenting an observation as a fact.
As a counterexample. Yeah, it's a counterexample.
The observed pressure gradient is proof that a pressure gradient can form without a container.
You made a claim that all pressure gradients must exist in a container. What's the evidence of that? What's the proof?
So what you've done is you presented a pressure gradient. You made an observation.
John, answer the question.
Congratulations.
Answer the question, John.
You're presenting an observation of a pressure gradient.
John, answer the question. What's the proof? What's the proof, John? You made a claim. Don't talk about me. I'm asking you what the proof is. What's the proof, John? I'm asking for the evidence, John, for the proof.
You presented a pressure gradient, and I stated that all repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
Okay, demonstrate that. You made a claim. You made a claim. Present the argument. Present the argument, John.
It's called to observe reality.
Oh, so you just don't have an argument? You're just like, oh, well, it looks that way.
I just said it. All repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
Yeah, you're right. That's the claim.
That's right. I'm right.
Prove it.
You're right. No, that is observed reality. All repeatable demonstrations
hold on,
of
prove
a pressure gradient.
This is a claim. You're just repeating the claim again. Are you like short circuiting? Is your brain broken? Because you're just saying the thing over and over again. You're not actually presenting the evidence of the argument.
Therefore, an observation of a pressure gradient is indicative of a rigid container.
So, wait a minute. I get it. So if you observe a pressure gradient without a rigid container, that must mean that there is a pressure container somewhere, because I'm assuming that my argument is true in order to prove my argument is true. If only we had just assumed that the premise was true.
You're making the claim that it is without a rigid container.
No, I'm sorry. You made the claim that it requires... John, you made the claim that all pressure gradients require a container. Prove it.
That's observed reality.
Oh, okay. So if I just say it's observed reality that it doesn't, then what do we do?
Because I don't have to prove observed reality. All industry, math, and science require
does it? Does all industry, math, and science? Is that true? What about Pascal's law?
All industry, math, and science.
What about Pascal's law?
Require containment.
There's another big claim. Can you prove any of these claims? Because I provided a counterexample, by the way.
Established facts. Is this your counter argument?
I'm sorry. Who established these facts? Because I spent a long time. I spent a long time in school learning physics. I spent a long time learning physics, and it just sounds like that this is not an established fact.
How embarrassing, Blitz! This is your counter argument.
Can you find me I don't know, a single textbook that says this? If it's an established fact, that should be no problem.
Can you show me one repeatable demonstration of a pressure gradient that doesn't require containment?
I already did, but the point is you're going to say it does. You're going to say, I'm sorry, I was in the middle of a sentence. You're going to say that it actually has a container because you're assuming that your conclusion is true.
Based off of reality. Based off of every other instance in the world of a pressure gradient.
Except this one, which is apparently a counterexample.
Every other observation in the world of a pressure gradient, a rigid container is required.
Except in this counterexample.
To conclude that an observation of a pressure gradient is indicative of a container.
Wait a minute. Are you just doing inductive reasoning now?
Can you show me the one demonstration of a pressure gradient that doesn't require a rigid container?
I absolutely already did. We've already been over this.
That is the claim. You made an observation of a pressure gradient. Congratulations.
Yeah, observation of a pressure gradient, and it doesn't have a lid on it.
So Blitz, let me just
there's pressure in there.
Admit this, Blitz. Just admit that in every other instance of a pressure gradient, a rigid container is required, except for this one.
No, it's not. Well, it's not true either.
Show me one other instance then.
I can just show you another example of somebody playing with sulfur hexafluoride. I can show you 100 examples of this. In fact, I could also show you any sort of what's it called? It's a toroidal.
Let's see.
It's not toroidal. It's a type of plasma containment that's used in fusion generating plants.
Guess what a vacuum is? A rigid container. Your example.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
A vacuum is a rigid container.
A vacuum is a rigid container?
Big fail.
Wait, I'm sorry. A vacuum is a rigid container?
Yeah.
A vacuum is nothing. That's what a vacuum is.
Guess what you're doing with your magnet example? You're putting it in a vacuum, which is a rigid container.
A vacuum?
You got any more?
A vacuum's not a container at all. It's not rigid either.
You got any more proofs?
Do you know what a vacuum is?
Can you show me a repeatable demonstration of a vacuum that doesn't require a rigid container?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You won't think it's real though.
Repeatable demonstrations is where the globe falls flat, buddy.
I mean, you just have to go to space and you can see a vacuum.
Repeatable demonstrations is where the globe falls
I mean,
flat.
I showed you a repeatable demonstration and you don't like it. So now that you're saying, so you agree that there is one counterexample, right?
Insults and ridicule. That's
Do we agree that there's a counterexample, John? There's a counterexample for your universal claim?
Let's hear it.
The boat floating on the sulfur hexafluoride.
Okay, you present an observation.
Yeah. So that's a counterexample to your claim that all pressure gradients require.
You presented an observation as a counter argument. Awesome.
Yeah, an observation that is that contradicts the
Sweet,
general
bro.
claim that you made.
Keep going. Keep going. Don't let me interrupt you.
I only need one counterexample to disprove a universal claim. You only need one counterexample.
So you made an observation to disprove a universal fact. That
That's how you can do that.
In all industry, math, and science.
So John,
rigid container is required for a pressure gradient.
So John, if I made the claim, John, if I made the claim, all swans are white, and then you went and you showed me a single black swan, would that disprove my universal claim?
Is this your counter argument?
Stunned into silence.
All repeatable demonstrations requiring a pressure gradient require a rigid container?
Stunned into silence.
Your counter argument to this is
broke him.
Swans.
I broke his brain.
That should.
Do you understand what I asked you?
Yeah. That's very, very.
So if I said that all swans are white,
you got there.
If I said all swans are white,
your counter argument to observed reality is,
John, if I said all swans are white and then you showed me a black swan, would that mean that my claim all swans are white is false? It's a really easy question, John.
Is that really your fucking rebuttal?
Are you incapable of answering the question, John? Because it sounds like you kind of are.
So let's recap real quick, okay? I made the argument.
Let's not recap. You're dodging a question.
All
Stop dodging.
Demonstrations of a pressure
John,
gradient
quit
require
dodging.
a rigid container. Your counter arguments to
John, quit dodging.
you want to, and now
I asked you a very simple question. Very simple question, John. If I said all swans are white and you showed me a black swan, would that mean that my universal statement is false?
Right. So okay, great. Now
so we agree. Okay, so we agree that universal
pressure gradient that
so
doesn't
we agree
require,
that universal statements can be disproved by a single counterexample.
So show me the example of a pressure gradient that doesn't require a rigid container.
I already showed it to you. The boat floating on the.
You showed me a claim.
I didn't show you a claim. I showed you a video.
You showed me
it's not a claim. It's a video.
No, you made a claim that it can be true, and then you.
No, I just showed you an example of it being true.
And said, "See."
Yeah, I just showed you an example of it being true. I didn't make it a claim. It's just an example.
No, you said that a pressure gradient can form without a rigid container, and then you showed me a pressure gradient.
I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
And then you said, "See."
I asked if you said that means that there must be a container on all sides of the thing. You said yes, and then I gave you a counterexample.
Right, and you're using the pressure gradient observed in the atmosphere as proof of a pressure gradient that doesn't need a rigid container. That is a claim that you're presenting as
I'm not making any claims. I'm just presenting an example of something that doesn't have a container on all sides and is clearly in a pressure gradient.
The pressure gradient is there, correct?
There is yes, pressure gradients are required for things to float. Yep.
And my argument is all repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient require a rigid container.
And where's the evidence for that claim?
All lab settings, all industry, all math, all science.
I just gave you one. This isn't a pressure container.
That's how it goes.
But I just showed you one that doesn't do that, so that disproves your claim.
You're saying and I'm saying
you got it wrong. It says it's not it's nuh-uh.
You're presenting an observation of a pressure gradient.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not making a positive claim. I'm not the one making a positive claim. I'm giving you a counterexample. I'm giving you a counterexample. I'm not giving you a positive claim.
And then now you've digressed into some weird swan
Do you not understand the relationship between the analogy I gave and what we're talking about? Look, I grant that you might not be able to make that analogous connection, but
then we're back to you actually producing evidence that a pressure gradient.
So I showed you the black swan.
Right. So show me the evidence that a pressure gradient can form without a rigid container.
I'll show you again.
You cannot do that. All you can do is deflect, insult, and ridicule.
There it is.
You're presenting a pressure gradient.
A pressure gradient without a container. See how there's no lid on the box? See how there's no lid on the box?
We observe a pressure gradient. Absolutely. We observe it. We agree.
So absolutely, there's no lid on the box, right? So you have pressure without a container?
Right. There is a pressure gradient observed in the atmosphere.
That's a good point.
There's a pressure gradient. observed in the atmosphere. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So can you prove that it's in a container?
Well, absolutely, because every lab setting and recreation
his conclusion
and
again.
repeatable demonstration
Not
of a
the
pressure gradient
conclusion
require a
again.
rigid container.
Not the if only I had considered that if I just believed his conclusion, then his conclusion would be true.
So in
if
all
only,
industry and all lab settings and all repeatable demonstrations of a
if
pressure
only
gradient that
I
require a
knew
rigid
that
container,
his conclusion was true.
except for the atmosphere. That's your argument.
Well, and I just showed you another one.
You're making an observation and you're presented it as a claim.
No, I'm sorry. You're making a claim, and I'm asking for the proof.
No, you're denying reality.
Do you have proof for the claim, or are you just using inductive reasoning?
You're literally denying reality in front
Are you
of
just using inductive
827
reasoning,
people.
or
denying reality to fit your
do you know what
beliefs in
inductive
front of
reasoning is
800 people,
versus
bro?
deductive reasoning?
And now your only move left is to insult, like literally.
No, this is a genuine question. Do
It
you know
is-
the difference?
It is literally your only move next.
John, do you know the difference between inductive and deductive reasoning? You can unmute now. Do you know the difference between those two?
Can you admit that in all repeatable
Have you answered a single question that I've asked you?
A rigid container is required.
John, have you answered a single question? Actually, you know what? I'll have to go back and re-listen to this because I don't actually think that he's answered any questions I've asked. Hey, John, what's 3 plus 8?
So now your counter argument.
He can't even ask. He can't even answer that question.
You can't address the argument whatsoever because you know that all repeatable demonstrations of a pressure gradient
is
require a
so
rigid
bad
container.
faith.
So your only move next is to deflect, insult, ridicule, come up with anything
you're
but to
ridiculing
counter
yourself.
the argument.
I mean, you're ridiculing yourself. Like, you failed to answer a single question that I've asked you. Like, I've given you the good faith. I've given you the good faith understanding of keeping you up here with the expectation that you want to have an actual conversation. But it doesn't seem like you're actually interested in having an actual conversation. Is that correct? That you're not interested in actually answering any single questions? By the way, my mic is way louder than yours, so nobody can hear you when I'm talking.
Because your only move is to do this. You can't address the argument.
Why can't you?
whatsoever.
I'm just looking for the evidence, my guy. I just want the evidence, the argument. I just want something that makes this universal claim reasonable to agree with.
You're denying reality.
You can keep saying that. What's the argument? What's the evidence, my guy?
Like every repeatable demonstration of a pressure gradient requiring a rigid container.
Prove that that's true for all of them.
For every single one except the one you're claiming that doesn't.
Yeah, so you need to prove that it is. That's the point.
Yeah.
I gave you a demonstratable, repeatable experiment that doesn't seem like it's contained in anything. And so if you're making the claim that every repeatable, demonstratable experiment actually is, for pressure gradients, is in a container, then that means that you need to prove that the one that I showed you actually does agree with what you say. But you can't, because you're just assuming your conclusion.
100%. Every single one of them require a rigid container.
Yeah, okay, so where's the proof that every single one of them does? Including the one I showed you. Where's the proof?
It's called observe reality, buddy.
So your proof is just look.
Show me one that don't. It's that simple.
I just did.
That's simple. Show me one that don't.
I just did. You need to now show that the one that I showed you actually requires a container.
So every repeatable demonstration.
So, John, without assuming what you're claiming to be true is true, from first principles, can you prove that the thing I showed you requires a container?
Can you? I'm laughing, man. Well, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I'll repeat it slow because I know that you need it. So, without assuming the conclusion, can you show that the example I gave you actually does involve a container?
Yeah, because every other repeatable demonstration of a pressure gradient requires a container.
I'm sorry. Did you hear me when I said?
Yeah.
Without assuming the conclusion.
So I have to have faith, basically, that I have to faith in this one instance. I have faith that a rigid container is not required, basically, is what you're saying.
No, you have to have faith that it always applies.
Every repeatable demonstration of a pressure gradient, a rigid container is required, except for this one instance that I have to have faith in, right?
Look, you're the one making a claim. You need to prove it.
I have to have faith, right?
You're making the claim. I'm asking you for the proof. It's easy. Just where's the proof?
So this is just putting it out there. It's a faith, right?
No, it's not a faith. I'm just asking you for the proof that this particular demonstration involves a rigid container. Where's the proof?
Every other repeatable demonstration of a pressure gradient requires a rigid container.
So John,
you're
that's
saying that
great.
this one doesn't require a rigid container.
John, that's great.
You're having faith in that, right?
No, there's no faith involved. You make the claim that this is a universal, that this applies to every pressure gradient that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a universal claim that you're making. Now, what you can do is you can say many. Please, John. John, I'm trying to be super good faith here. John, please. John, please. Okay, I have to mute you. Now, you can absolutely say that many examples of when we produce pressure gradients, are demonstrably requiring a container, right? Like, absolutely, that's a thing. However, if you want to make the claim that every single one of them does, then you need to prove without assuming. You need to prove without assuming.
You cannot present
you need to prove. I'm muting you again. You need to prove without assuming that your conclusion is true, that the thing that I showed you does require a container. Otherwise, you're just assuming the thing that you want to prove. You're just having faith.
What you're suggesting contradicts observed reality.
That's
crazy,
the claim.
Bro.
That's the claim. You have to prove that.
What you're suggesting counters observed reality.
What's the proof? Because it looks like we have observed reality right here, contradicting the claim that you're making.
That's the proof, my guy.
I mean, look, so unless you can demonstrate that the example I gave you absolutely requires a container, without assuming that everything requires a container.
You gave me a claim.
John, if I told you,
you believe the claim
so
with
John,
faith,
John,
you
if
have
I told
faith in the
you,
claim.
John, if I told you that every flat earther is a short king, and then you showed me a flat earther who's not, and I said, oh no, but that's because he is a short claim. You have to prove that he's not. That would be nonsense, right?
Anything but the rigid.
Do you don't understand analogies, do you?
Wouldn't you?
You don't understand analogies, do you?
The rigid container.
I would just like you to answer in good faith any question that I've asked.
Just admit it, bro. Just admit it. Just take
John,
the L. Just take the L.
John, what time is it where you
Sorry.
live? What time is it where you live?
Just take the L.
John, what time is it where you live?
Just take the L.
John, what time is it where you live?
Just take the L, bro. Hey, it's time for work, man.
And you're already drinking this early? Crazy. I mean, if he's going to work at, what, noon? He's already drinking? I don't know, man. Wouldn't be me. Anyway, that's actually really good timing because he did run, by the way, because I should end the live here. Let me just record when that ended. Cool. All right, let's read some super chats and we'll call it there. So we have 25 Polish zloty from Adam. What do you think about Neil Tyson? I have 7 of his books and I love his work, but I heard some people call him out and say that he's not qualified. So Neil deGrasse Tyson is absolutely qualified to talk on astrophysics. He has a PhD in astrophysics. He has published research on astrophysics. He hasn't done it in a while, but he absolutely does. Now, some people don't like him because it's like he's had some allegations against him. Now, I don't know whether those allegations are true, but some people think that like it's pretty gross for him to have those. But, you know, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know whether they're true or not. But some people don't like him because he's not an active scientist. And there are some things that he says that are wrong. But if he writes a book about astrophysics, you can be pretty well, you'd be pretty reasonable to believe that he's saying true things. All right. And then we have Sean from sending $5. Thank you so much, Sean. Do you have to take blood pressure meds before talking to flat earthers? Mine goes up just watching you do it. No, so I actually have chronically low blood pressure, so this helps. No, I'm kidding. A little bit. Josh Jackson sends $5. I was pointing out how callers always say they, but they never specify who they're talking about. Bit of a double standard, honestly, but I was vague. No, okay, that's understandable, and I understand that. Yeah, they do say they a lot. That's true. And then we have Godwin sending $2. Thank you so much, Godwin. Sun goes up, sun goes down. Observable reality, bro. True. Good point. And Trino Carrera sent 20 Dr. Blitz Debunks gift memberships. That means that 20 more people now have access to my debate notes. So if you want access to my debate notes, got to be a member of the Got to be a member of one of the YouTube channels or be a member on Patreon. And you'll get access to my debate notes, which I update on the regular. It involves flat earth debates, theism debates, young earth debates, all sorts of things. And, you know, obviously they're constantly under construction. Jack Federer sends $2. Thank you so much, Jack. Will a FLERF ever say, I don't know, or please explain it? The honest ones will. The dishonest ones won't. IC Spin sends $2 to say chirp. Still don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. Gitstan sends $5. Thank you, Gitstan. Caller brings up pressure gradient, yet doesn't understand what that means in any context or give any examples while saying it needs a container. Yeah, basically. So what happened in that conversation is that he has this claim that every pressure gradient requires a container. So that means that any example I give him, he must be able to demonstrate without assuming that every pressure gradient requires a container, that the example I gave him indeed does require a container. He would have to prove that without assuming the thing that he's trying to prove is true. Otherwise, he's just affirming the consequent, if you will. Vince Price with the $2. Thank you, Vince. Do you ever get someone that isn't a moron? There are some honest people. Yeah, definitely. Jack Federer again sends $2. Thanks, Jack. You've identified a glitch in his firmware. I have indeed. Nick sends 2 Canuck bucks. This guest sounds like Mikey and Demok. I don't know who that is. Demosh had a kid. I don't know who that is. Jack Federer sends the famous white swan fallacy. Damn you. Yeah, yep, he got me there. I used the white swan fallacy. All right, y'all. And I do have some cash apps that I should probably make sure to read or point out before I end the live. So we have 2 cash apps, one from Grimlock. Don't forget your daily voluntary waterboarding. You're right. One sec. And then Shay sent $10 for complimenting without requesting to join, a how-to. Yeah, so this was from a while ago. Somebody came up because they wanted to compliment me. There's a way to do that. It's by sending a cash app. Now, of course, you don't have to. Nobody's making you. But, you know, if you want to show your appreciation, joining a live stream where you're not opposition is not a good way to do that. Anyway, y'all, I think that that's it. Let me just double check and make sure that that is indeed it. Oh, we have a new $10 Patreon member, Jesse. Thank you so much for being a $10 Patreon patron. Oh, and Shay also sent $6.66 for From the Beast. I appreciate that, Shay. All right, I think that that's everything. So, y'all, we're going to end the live here. I will see you guys on Sunday for the Unapologetic Show. I'll see you guys then. And if you haven't already, make sure to go subscribe to the Dr. Blitz Debunks channel because that's where all of these great clips will be found.